Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmie. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another crazy, action-packed, wild, death-defying edition of Crime and Sports. Thank you. It's a crazy one today again. Yeah. Somebody that a lot of you guys have heard of.
Yeah.
Again. So we've been doing a lot of those lately.
I like those.
We kind of had a big bag of them stored up, and might as well pull them out now because eventually there's not going to be any left. So
right. One day it all stops.
One day it all stops, folks.
Like this Earth. One day the sun will eat this thing.
Maybe sooner than later. We don't know. So at this point, we do the show because people give us Patreon money and like us, and we feel bad taking the show away. Otherwise, it literally does nothing for us. Right. We enjoy it, but
love it.
That's not worth 40 hours a week of work. It's literally because people like it and we feel like they'd be sad if we stopped doing it, and we don't want to be tweeted at. No. That's literally what it is. Otherwise, I don't know. We're trying our best here.
Your Twitter notifications jammed with "please don't stop" isn't enough.
That's the thing. So we're gonna doesn't matter because every damn episode we do, we're gonna throw ourselves into it 190,000%, like our subjects do into their crime.
Yeah.
Got to thank everyone for their iTunes reviews.
Thank
you guys for that this week. They really do make a difference. They drive us up the charts, and we've said it before and said it again. So please give us an iTunes review. Give us 5 stars if you haven't yet. Just tell us you're following instructions, following directions. If you want to be more than that, if you want to be a hero to us, if you want to be more than friends, we'll say, you can do that. You can be a producer, and that is so easy to do. And we have a long list of these fine people at the end of the show.
Equivalent of sliding in our DMs?
I feel like it is. Yeah, I feel like it really is. You can become one of those people by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or heading over to PayPal and using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
There you go.
And you can also do it there. And God, every cent is appreciated, like we said, because
Netflix and chill.
That's the money we make off this show. It really is. There's no nothing else. It's just you guys. So thank you guys for that. And we do have an absolutely bonkers episode for you.
Great.
It's another one of these. Last week we did Eat Her Asshole, and it was
That sounded like you said eat her asshole.
Last week we did Eat Her Asshole, and it's a new segment of the show that we do. We bring a lady in here.
Jesus Christ.
We did Idiot or Asshole, our normal game of what is this guy, and last week it was just buried in the red of the asshole section, which sounds terrible. Just in the red. I did that just for you, Jimmie. So, I love that we're getting gross 3 minutes into the show. We haven't even fucking started yet. And we're already right there. I like it a lot.
Already burying it in her asshole or whatever we're doing.
I didn't give a gender. So I didn't say whose asshole we were doing anything in.
Okay, sorry. Oh, Jesus.
So this week we have it's a different kind of thing. He's a little of each.
Yeah.
He's a little column A, he's a little column B.
Okay.
Mostly just an idiot that is self-destructive, but that has ripple effects from other people.
Yeah.
But usually not, outright, just overtly attacking anybody mainly or anything like that. He's not a guy who's constantly like he choked his wife again. Like he's not that guy.
This is just a guy whose shit decisions affect other people.
Well, yeah, and he does have a couple of streaks of violence. There's a little gunplay, public gunplay, so that's fun. It's a wild episode. Let's get right to it with Andre Previn Rison.
Andre yes!
Rison. Yes, his middle name is Previn.
What?
Yes, exactly.
How is that not common knowledge?
Well, because would you tell everyone your middle name was Previn?
Well, isn't it on the back of your fucking NFL card?
I don't
or does
think
he delete that on purpose?
It just says Andre Rison back.
Guess,
no one cares about their fucking middle names. So Andre Rison.
Andre Previn.
If you don't know Andre Rison, he was huge in the 90s. Everybody knew who Andre Rison was in the 90s. From
him and Dion were the fucking faces of the Falcons.
That's what I mean. He was a huge deal and very brash and very outspoken.
Yeah.
And you may have seen him most recently on the ESPN documentary Broke about athletes who pissed all their money away.
Yes.
That's a little foreshadowing for the rest of the episode of the type of guy we're talking about here.
Fantastic.
Well, let's find out how someone pisses away a bunch of money, gets arrested a whole bunch of times, and has violent encounters with a major recording pop star.
Really?
Let's find out.
He has a penchant for violent women.
We'll find out all about it here. Andre Previn is his middle name, like I said. Rison, not a junior, luckily for him, because there's no Previn Senior.
Yeah.
He's born March 18th, 1967 in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Flint guy. Comes from a tough area.
Loaded with lead.
Flint is loaded down with lead, so that might account for some of his decision making later on. We're not sure. His mother gave him the name Andre Previn Rison after the pianist and composer Andre Previn. That's what. Didn't expect that, did you?
What?
Didn't expect that one, did you, Jimmy? Yes. Andre George Previn, who was born Andreas Ludwig Prewin, is a German-American pianist, conductor, and composer. He's just this old, kind of puffy German guy.
White guy.
He's the winner of 4 Academy Awards for his film work and 10 Grammys.
My Christ.
Yes, his Academy Awards include Best Music for scoring of a musical in 1958 and 1959.
Look at this.
For Gigi and Porgy and Bess. I've never heard of those fucking movies, but I don't know.
Is he broke too?
I don't know 50s musical.
Or did he manage his
money?
We'll
find out. Don't worry. What do you think? This is the last time you're going to hear from Andre Previn for the rest of the episode. Also, Best Score, Adaptation, or Treatment for 1963 and 1964, including My Fair Lady.
That man was born Andre Ludwig?
Yes. Ludwig Prewin, but they changed to Previn because it was the W's the V anyway.
And he ended up pursuing fucking classical music also. That's incredible.
And they gave him Ludwig as the middle name. And so My Fair Lady, that film, that he did the score adaptation for that.
Good for him.
So, I mean, famous guy. Now, his mother, Merdice, or Merdici? Merdice? I'm going to go with Merdice.
Probably.
That's Merdice. M-E-R.
It ain't Merdice.
It's
Merdice?
Merdice.
It might be Merdice.
We're going with Merdice for now. Merdice had Andre when she was...
Murder and dice mixed together.
Murder and dice.
That's amazing.
This is weird. She was 20 years old, single parent, in Flint, Michigan, who was a secretary at the time, lived with her mother and father in Flint, Michigan. So a 20-year-old, kind of undereducated as far as, didn't go to a 4-year school as, whatever. It's not really, I didn't graduate fucking high school, so... Believe me, not sniping.
No,
but I mean,
I'm for sure undereducated.
Not highly educated, who lives in Flint, Michigan, works as a secretary, lives with her parents, fucking names her son after German fucking classical composing pianists. That's rare.
Amazing.
I bet he's the only guy in the neighborhood named after a German classical pianist, probably.
He's probably the only person in Flint named after a fucking classical pianist.
Especially a German one.
Yeah.
So his mother, when he was born, they were poor. They didn't have a lot. She lived with her parents. He said that, quote, I didn't have any material things growing up. Quote, I used to spend my time ripping, running, and having fun.
Oh, boy.
So he had a lot of time to run around the streets and just be a general nudnik, basically.
Thievery.
This is nudnickery running abound in this episode. That's this.
And it started day
idiocy
one.
and nudnickery.
Yeah.
Yes, it's day one from the absolute beginning. But he also, at the same time, completely immersed himself in sports, too.
Okay.
He's athletic as shit, this guy. As you remember, if you watched him play, he's insanely fast.
One of the best ever.
He's really athletic. So, I mean, for such a good athlete, that helped him stay off the street a little bit, too, because he was doing
fun to watch,
things.
though. God damn it.
Oh, he was entertaining as hell. He was one of these guys that, he's kind of a dickhead, but entertaining as shit to watch on the field.
He was like a dirty Chris Carter. You know
I guess
mean?
you could say that. Yeah, kind of like a dirty Chris, a shit-talking Chris Carter.
Yeah, a ghetto shit-talking Chris Carter.
Keyshawn Johnson who was good. Keyshawn Johnson,
a little shorter too.
the worst fucking player to be made a commentator later on because of his skills. Like he was terrible. Sorry, Keyshawn sucked a dick. He was awful. He was an awful receiver,
and he's a bad commentator
and
too.
a bad guy. He's terrible at everything he does.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keyshawn.
Keyshawn, you can't talk either, bro.
New show to pitch. New show to pitch. ESPN. You get Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
And fucking and Keyshawn together that way because Skip Bayless' his only talent is arguing with black people, obviously. So they're going to disagree with each other and they're going to argue. If they kill each other,
who gives a shit?
Shoulder shrug. If not, oh well.
You're not losing anything.
If not, I mean, maybe the studio floods one day, like all the way to the ceiling, and we I don't know how it works, but maybe we can have some gases come through. That somehow we can eliminate both of these two idiots if we get them in the same room. I feel like
we should trick them. Yeah, we should trick them into believing that they matter and make them do like crazy.
But don't release the shows.
Like mix,
have them record them just in a room with a studio and cameras and people going 3, 2, 1, pointing at them and shit, and then have there's no film in the fucking camera. There's just nothing. It's not connected to anything.
Nobody press record.
No,
you just turn on a red light somewhere.
No memory card in there. Nothing. It's just like no, guys. There's just someone has a red light bulb. No, on air, guys.
Right.
Keep it going.
Or just mix sports and Jackass together and make Keyshawn do horrible things like tickle his taint or something.
I like to
with
watch
his tongue.
Keyshawn do horrible things to Skip
That's
Bayless.
what I
think
mean.
that would be good. I'd enjoy that shit. That would be great.
Play gay chicken or some shit
together.
together.
That'd be awesome. Yes. So,
while they call a fucking Cowboys game. That would be amazing. I'd watch that.
Skip just cheerleading for the Cowboys. So, Andre into sports. He's totally into sports. He said from the beginning he knew that's what he was doing. That was his purpose. That was his cause on the earth. He said that he always told his mother, quote, "The Lord put me on earth to go pro."
Okay.
Which I don't think the Lord...
I don't know that he does that.
If the Lord... was an existing figure, I don't know that he would, if they are, I don't know. I don't know that the Lord would be that aware of a newly formed league. Because for him, that's a pretty new league, that would be. That's like 100 years old. That's nothing. You wouldn't even have heard of that shit yet.
No.
That would have been like if you're like 50 and there was like a meme, you wouldn't know about it until like 5 years later.
What were the sports back in Jerusalem back
then?
Not
much.
That would be what you'd be going pro at.
I mean, they had basketball.
Right.
I know that.
Right.
That's how Easter got started.
Is that right?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Jesus, this is a fact actually, Jimmy. Jesus went real heavy on the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did. It's at the Nazareth Collegiate Athletic Association. He went real hard on that shit. Real hard, and as you know, who controls all that? The Romans. They went and they fucking roughed him up a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they put him in a cave for a couple of days.
His
like
bracket busted? Is that what you're telling me?
That'll fucking teach him. You know what I mean? They weren't trying to kill him. They put him in the cave to keep him a lesson and teach him a lesson. They came back and got him 3 days. Like, that's how it worked. And that's how the church got started.
Yes.
Jesus went out to try to get money to pay off his gambling debt.
That's what happened.
And that was the church.
And they're still trying today.
Follow me, people. Here's a plate. I owe Vinny a lot of fucking money.
Vinny the Roman.
Seriously, guys.
Just give it up.
Fucking pay up because Duke didn't cover in the third. I mean, I thought they were going all the way.
They keep making me drag a cross around. They're threatening to hammer me to it.
What are you going to do? Chasing me all around.
Ain't you seen Casino? They're going to do it. Jesus.
Oh, man. That's so great. I love them. I'm having so much fun.
Nazareth is what put it over.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the one that did it.
He would tell her that the Lord put him on earth to go pro. He would tell her that when she was into hurting for money. Like she'd get, try to buy a house and her application for the mortgage would get turned down and shit like that. He told her that she couldn't afford to buy him new clothes and that he would switch clothes with his best friend, which is weird.
What a friend.
Yeah, his friend would help him out and give him clothes and shit, which was cool. He said that when he was a kid, people made fun of him and shit and tried to... Basically, he said that people ostracized him because he was more athletically gifted than them, which I've never seen that, as a matter of fact. Have you in school?
No.
I never saw,
I never picked on the best one.
Fucking kids all good at sports and shit. Like, that never happened.
No.
That guy was actually pretty popular.
That guy got blown a lot.
The other kids, the guys wanted to play with him, hang out with him, fucking play sports with him.
Matter of fact, the best guy at my school went to the NBA. He's now the coach of the high school team, and he's got fucking pictures on Instagram that are going viral because he's jacked still. He's probably still getting blown by strange women.
Probably.
And he's got the worst tattoos ever. He's a horrible-looking individual, but he gets blown constantly.
What taunt would you give at someone for their athletic skills?
What do you do? What do you do?
How do you make fun of someone because they're fast? I've never heard of that before.
You fag getting blown by all those women.
Look at you, all those chicks liking you. Yeah, it makes no sense.
You fag.
Yeah, you're such a fag. Banging all these chicks like a total queer. Right. Only queers do that. I'll tell you that right now. Growing up in the or late 70s, early 80s, everybody, man.
I think Andre is just trying to paint a picture of something that didn't happen.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
The only thing they got to make fun of you for is that stupid fucking middle name.
Yeah, nobody knew about it.
No, he's not telling anybody.
He said that growing up poor made him very tough in Flint, which that would do that. He said that his mom taught him to be his own man. He learned never to give up.
Who else's man would he be?
I'd have no idea. That's another one of those I'm saying words that mean something. Words that mean things that I think sounds good. Yeah.
What the fuck?
She taught me to be my own man and to grow up and to eat dinner at night. Like, okay, like what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Be your own man. He said, quote, "My arrogance and cockiness have always been a cover-up for the disappointments in my life. I talked big to hide my insecurities. When I was growing up, people were always jealous of me. I used to think, what are they jealous of? They're the ones with clothes, a nice house, a mother, a father, a car." What are you jealous of? I'm poor as fuck. That's
what
great.
What are you jealous of me for? You got all those clothes and shit.
Clothes. You're the one with the clothes and the nice house and a mother and father.
That's awesome.
Wow. Well, you have a father. So someone impregnated your mother. So it's not your dad, but he said, quote, "I realized at a young age if I didn't stick up for myself, then I'd fall through the cracks with everybody else. I wouldn't get noticed. I had to talk myself up to believe I could achieve something in life. Somebody had to believe in me. Somebody had to say it out loud."
He's basically saying the same thing that everybody fucking has to do. You're no different, sir.
Nobody believed in me.
You're not special.
No one picks people up and then takes them to their goal and destination like on a cloud. That's not what happens. I
gotta believe in me too, asshole.
Believe in me. Yeah. It's
what a dipshit thing to say.
And you had measurable ways of defining yourself. My 40 time is this. Therefore, I can do that. Like, try doing comedy, asshole. I think that's fucking someone had to believe in me. Good God.
That's exactly what it is, though. Is that at some point in your life, you got to go, this is what I'm going to do, and I've got to believe in myself to do it.
Yeah. Most people are picking the wrong thing, and then they fail at it, and their lives suck.
Or you stick with that for the rest of your life, and you shine shoes until you're fucking 65.
Yep, either that, or you end up in a cubicle because you gave up, or maybe you wanted to be in a cubicle.
Or maybe you're really fucking good at being in that cubicle.
Or maybe you want whatever your thing is. But I mean, most people that have something that they believe in themselves for, they really try hard and they believe in themselves until they give up and wait tables for the rest of their lives, and that's the way it works. But him, if you have measurable
an incredible
things,
amount of talent,
then you don't
insanely talented at running, catching a ball, and evading people from tackling you.
More than that, let's talk about it too, because he first started playing football. He went to Flint Northwestern High School. First start of Northwestern, they always call it. He ends up coaching there a little bit later on. He's a football player there. He's also the point guard on the basketball team, which went. They won state titles in both his junior and senior year of the basketball team, and went 55-1 over those 2 years.
Wow!
And he was the point guard for that team.
I'll bet he was the biggest point guard they've ever had, too.
He's only 5'11", 6 feet
really?
tall. Yeah,
I thought he was like 6'1".
No, he's 6 foot tall. Maybe he says he's 6 foot, and he's a receiver, so he's probably 5'10 3/4", and says he's 6 foot. But either way,
that's the point guard in the NBA, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, point guard in high school. That's great.
He's probably 5'10",
and he's very athletic and muscular and that sort of thing. He's a 2-time All-State selection in basketball as well, and has his school. He had 636 career assists in high school, which is still the school record.
So he wasn't even the one scoring the points. He was getting other people. Yeah,
dishing like crazy.
Unbelievable.
Now the other people on the team, all the seniors from both the championship teams accepted full basketball scholarships to major colleges, except for Andre Rison.
How about that?
Who ended up going football. One guy was Jeff Grayer, who played for the Milwaukee Bucks, and Glenn Rice also played on this team with him. Yeah, Glenn Rice, the NBA player who's rumored to have fucked Sarah Palin, as a matter of fact.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, who knows?
I hope that happened.
Very good. So you didn't expect a Sarah Palin tie-in to Andre Rison, did you?
Somehow it
Surprise.
comes around.
Never know what you're going to get on Crime and Sport. Crime and Sports, you never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of poison chocolates.
Yes.
You never fucking know.
It's like a giant dick in Sarah Palin.
That's
you never
right.
know.
You never know.
It could happen.
Giant 6'8" cock. Anyway, so Andre Rison also played on the football team.
I want that to have happened.
I know. I think it did.
It had to, right?
She didn't really deny it. It's just one of the.
She was just like, "Oh, Glenn."
Yeah, they went to college together, so it was like, yeah, why not? Why
and
wouldn't
they both played basketball?
Why wouldn't they
would
fucking
be in the gym together?
Great, good for you. Yeah, I don't understand why anybody would deny it. It's like, well, that happened a long time ago. We were in college.
I know exactly why they would deny it.
Yeah, well,
because her fucking base would not be thrilled about that.
Yeah. Neither would his. So. I think it goes both ways there. They're just going to ignore that one. I was like, no, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Yeah,
no comment.
That. No comment. So, Andre here also played 8 positions on the football team altogether. Tailback, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, safety, cornerback, punter, and place kicker.
So it was just him.
He's multiple, yeah. It was literally just replicas of Andre Rison. There's all number 80s out there across the board. It was like you could do like in Madden. You could just make the same guy across the board. That would be the same thing. That's so he was just playing everything. That's how athletic he is. Mm-hmm. They can just say, go play that position, and he'll go play it. And those are skill positions in there, too. You know, quarterback and wide receiver, those are skill positions. Yeah. He became an all-state punter as a junior.
Is that right? He can kick, too?
All-state.
All-state. Not just that he can kick it far. He can kick it where he needs it to be.
All-state level.
That's unbelievable.
And also, as a senior, his main thing was defensive back. He wasn't even a receiver.
Really?
He played a little receiver, but his main position was defensive back, so much so that he was an All-America.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, defensive backs often switch later on because that's where you get paid.
Right.
As receiver.
Right.
Nowadays, you get paid a corner, huge. But back then, you didn't. That was still a defensive position. You made nothing.
Who's the highest paid DB? Probably Keekly?
They got to make no, he's a linebacker.
He's a linebacker,
yeah,
that's right.
DBs make a lot of money. You got a shutdown cover corner, they make bank.
Corner, though.
That's what I mean. That's what he was playing.
Okay, that's what he was playing.
Safety and corner.
Right. I'm thinking free safety and
I'm assuming he probably played corner as fast as he is.
Probably.
I can't imagine. He's got to be the fastest guy on the field. I can't imagine they'd go stand there and wait for people.
Right.
They'd say, run with that fucking guy, I would think. So
him or Dion and Champ Bailey probably started the whole fucking windfall for defensive backs.
Yeah, I mean, there were some guys before that, but Dion kind of broke the bank.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, too, later on a little bit here.
Great.
He says, though, there were hard times back home. He said, quote, those were hard times back home.
There you go.
There you go. But they were good times.
Good.
Quote, I have a brother and a sister, but really the way we grew up, I had $1 million of each. That's
what?
I had to read that line when I wrote that down about 14 times. I have a brother and a sister, but really the way we grew up, I had $1 million. You had $1 million brothers and sisters?
That's a lot.
Sounds like a lot.
I don't think there's that many people in Flint, Michigan. 2 million? Is there 2 million people in Flint?
And Andre Rison, 2,000,001. He said, quote, I lived in about 15 different relatives' houses. Yikes.
That's a big family.
Wherever I laid my head to sleep, that's where home was, and that was fine. I haven't seen my father in years and have no idea where he is. My mother and I are close. At age 16, even before then, I was a leader at home. The family looked to me. I've always taken that responsibility. Yeah. So he's always been kind of that guy in the house, no idea where his dad is. We've heard this story before from Crime and Sports.
It sounds like 120 deep.
I think we've heard this a couple of times, just a couple. Yeah. Now, Merdice said that she persuaded Andre to concentrate more on football in college. I think she looked at him and said, look, dude, you're 5'11".
And you're playing every fucking position on the field. So
you know what I mean? Yeah. Encouraged him to play wide receiver instead of defensive back also. She says, quote, basketball was Andre's first love, but he needed to look at the odds of where he could have had the best career. Yeah. He's not tall enough for the NBA, and he wouldn't have been happy playing defensive back. Andre likes the glory. He needs to hear the crowd cheer, rah, rah, rah. He thrives on touching the ball.
Merdice ever heard of Spud Webb?
Yeah.
What the fuck is she talking about?
Well, but you have to be a different kind. It's true, though.
Insanely talented, that's all you got to be.
You got to be, to be 5'11" point guard in the NBA, you have to be insanely talented.
Earl Boykins, Muggsy Bogues was 5'3".
So rare, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's possible.
It's possible, but
especially if he's fast.
Even John Stockton was 6'2".
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not.
In NBA Jam, they made him so tiny.
Kevin Johnson, remember little Kevin Johnson? He's 6'3".
Is he that big?
6'1". He's 6'3". Kevin Johnson. He's a big fucking man. Like, he's a big guy. Or was he 6'1"? I thought he was 6'1". No, I'm sorry. Nash is 6'4". Johnson was 6'1".
There you go.
Steve Nash, does he look 6'4" to you?
No.
That's what I mean. Yeah. That's a tiny guy in the NBA. So you have to be a different kind of guy. I don't know. You probably have to have a 45-inch vertical jump to play point guard if you're 5'11".
That's the other thing is, can he dunk even? I mean,
who knows?
If he's got a lot of basketball talent, maybe he could have. It's possible.
I mean, but for NBA, this is smart. In football,
but in basketball, with the last name of Rison, he could have been marketed like a motherfucker.
Of shit. Well, he was marketed in football too.
Yeah, that's true.
He made the most of that, or Chris Berman did anyway. So his mother advised him against playing defensive back in college. Andre says, quote, "She told me, Andre, you know how much you love that limelight. You play where you can make something happen and where people can see you.
Where Mama can get a house."
Mama's, all her credit applications have been turned down, Andre. I need you to get out there.
There's only so many denieds you can hear.
So he ends up going to Michigan State, the local school there. Goes to Michigan Spartans. Goes to Michigan State to play wide receiver. They told him that he's more than welcome to play wide receiver there and not defensive back. And the person recruiting him to the school, because they'll send out their alumni to recruit you, was Magic Johnson.
Oh, Jesus.
So if Magic Johnson comes to your house and says, "Hey, man, let me show you the school," you're going to that fucking school, especially if you're from Flint, and Magic Johnson is basically a god in that area.
Basically, you're Jesus.
He is. He's from there. He took them to the whole national. It's ridiculous.
This is Magic Johnson pre-AIDS too.
Oh, this is
Showtime. Yeah,
this is 1985.
He pulled his dick out of a woman to go talk to Andre.
That's actually, you heard. And then he was
knock knock,
like a vacuum that was stuck on something. That's what he heard outside his door, and then knock knock. That must be Magic Johnson. But this is 85. This is in the middle of Showtime Lakers. Magic Johnson, one of the biggest, honestly, the probably top 3 biggest sports stars in the country at that point. Magic Johnson. So him knocking on your door, I'd go to fucking Michigan State too at that point. So he takes a football scholarship to Michigan State. They also promise him that they are okay with him playing basketball as well.
Wow.
They said you will make that work. As a freshman, he was a reserve on the football team, obviously, and the basketball team. Then he ends up, for some reason...
How many times did Magic Johnson, while telling him he can play 2 sports at Michigan State, how many times did he say the phrase, "You're going to get so much pussy"?
You have no idea. Did you hear that noise when I knocked on your door, son?
It's going to be, you're going to get AIDS, boy. You're going to be.
I'm telling you.
You are going to be the mayor of Michigan.
No shit. Oh, God. So after the freshman year of basketball, by the way, that year they went 23-8. Went deep in the tournament too. They were number 5 seed in the Midwest. They beat Washington in the first round. They beat number 4 Georgetown in the second round, which was a big deal. That was after Ewing left, but still. And then finally lost in the semifinal to number 1 overall Kansas that year. So they went deep. He only played in 6 games, 2.5 minutes a game. Didn't really do anything.
Semifinals at Elite 8? Is that what that is?
I think that is Sweet 16.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 rounds before the Sweet 16.
Got you. All right, yeah.
So, Sweet 16, they lost in the Sweet 16. So, I mean, he didn't do anything much as a freshman because he's a freshman. So that happens here. He also played other sports, too. He's playing basketball, like we said. He also played track. He was on the track team for some reason. They said just join the track team.
Well, he is fast.
Out of nowhere. That's after he quit basketball after his freshman year. Joins the track team, plays second in the long jump with a 24.5-foot jump.
Unbelievable.
So at the Big Ten Indoor Championships. He said his grandfather or his grandmother was a big influence in his life. At this point, all of her lessons came to him. He said, "My grandmother, Rose Rison, she was full of wisdom. Her word was word was gold over me, my mother, everyone."
I thought you were going to say he's going to Call his grandmother full of shit.
No. My grandmother, Rose Rison, she was full of shit. I see her sitting there with her blue hair and her rocking chair, just knitting and just telling fibs, just lying to the kids. And we're all like, man, Grandma Rose full of shit. And we'd go outside to play sports.
She used to tell us all these stories about how she was whipped as a child because she was a slave.
Jesus. Okay, well, that's terrible.
And it never happened.
Grandma, that's awful. She's actually from Michigan. She grew up there. And well after slavery had ended.
She moved here after I was born from Canada.
What happened? Yeah, she's Canadian. She's a French woman. He said, when she died, I put my Rose Bowl championship ring in her casket. My grandfather, Arnett, he put the dog in me, the fight in me. He never backed down. He always taught me to be secure about your domain. As a child, I felt so secure at his feet. He said his grandfather had 12 or 13 kids, but would cut his own grass, which I don't know why you would do that with 12 or 13 kids. I'd send them all out there with scissors just to keep them busy.
Why is he making you sleep at his feet?
I don't understand that. Secure at his feet, not sleeping. He said, quote, he didn't want a lot of people doing things for him, and I'm the same way. I call him from the locker room before every game. He always says, now, if you're going and they get after you, don't get hurt. Get down like Franco Harris used to do. He says that every time. Apparently, just take a dive if someone's coming after you. Don't you get hurt. So, anyway, 1985 and on the football team, Michigan State, Lorenzo White that year, the running back, had over 2,000 yards that year, which is just killing it. Andre played in 12 games, 19 receptions, 280 yards, averaged 14.7 per reception with 2 touchdowns. And also had 2 return touchdowns.
Oh,
also.
He was the kick returner, too.
Yeah, so not fucking bad.
Not bad
the guy, for a freshman...
A freshman ran back 2?
That's
terrific.
Insane. Team goes 7-5 that year, the football team, which is not great for Michigan State. That's a disappointment. 1986 season, the football team goes 6-5. Andre plays in 11 games, has 54 receptions.
Okay.
That's way different. And this team was not a throwing team. Yeah. That was like the thing, like Andre.
Well, you got a running back that has 2,000 yards.
And the quarterbacks were kind of shit too.
Yeah.
And all these articles were like, they have this great racehorse that they just don't have a track to let him run on. That's basically crazy. Like they have this great receiver, but they don't throw the ball. So like that was a big deal with Andre Rison all through college. Yeah. Like, don't look at his numbers. Like all the NFL guys are like, don't look at his numbers. They have nothing to do with shit. Watch him play. So he ended up having 966 yards, which almost 1,000 yards is great. 17.9 yards per reception, which is terrific, and 5 receiving touchdowns, too. Okay. So that's a fucking hell of a year as a sophomore. That's great. He fell only 5 yards short he set a school record. 54 catches was a school record as a sophomore, by the way. And later on, he would average 24.6 yards per catch in another season, which is just shy of the record there, too.
Oh, God damn it.
He's got a ton of records. I know. Wouldn't I be so mad?
I'd be losing my mind.
God damn
Call
it.
2 more plays, Coach.
Fuck. Come on, help me. I'm helping you.
Yeah.
1987, the team, Michigan State, goes 9-2-1. They go to the Rose Bowl. Okay. All the way to the Rose Bowl when that was still a big deal, which I guess it is now, too, versus USC. Oh. So Michigan State, USC, Rose Bowl.
Big deal.
That's a big deal. Michigan State wins the game 20-7.
Wow.
That's when he gets his... Yeah, that's when he gets his... Or 20-17, I'm sorry. That's when he gets his Rose Bowl championship.
Yep, the one he gave to Rose.
There you go. Right. And he gave to Grandma Rose, who was full of shit.
Gave her dead body.
Full of shit.
You buried that, you idiot.
Well, no, what he did is he gave it to some people who tend to whatever they do with the coffins after you leave the funeral home. What do you think, they leave the fucking jewelry in there? No. Fuck no.
He gave it to some dickbag that has it on his mantle now that can't sell it because
it's been melted down long ago.
Right, either that or he has to wait until Andre Rison dies to sell that.
If you owned a cemetery, you should have a gold smelting thing in the back too, just to melt everything down because you're
What's that back there? Your crematorium? Yeah, kinda.
You're running a thieving organization, you cocksuckers. I know what you're fucking doing. Don't put anything in my coffin when I die.
Never.
Don't keep it. Nothing. They're gonna steal it.
Don't give me a coffin.
Don't
waste my fucking money on a coffin.
About that. Or waste anybody's money. I don't give a fuck what you do with me. So
use that money to pay off your car or something. I don't care what you do with it.
No shit.
Go on a Disney cruise.
Oh, shit. So 87, that year, the Rose Bowl year, he had played in 12 games, had 34 catches for 785 yards, 23.1 yards per catch, which is enormous. Yeah. That's huge.
Nobody
That's the
has
whole field in 4 catches. That's batshit. That's crazy.
4 plays. Done deal.
Another 5 touchdowns also. that year receiving. Not too bad. That year, too, his junior year, he's like, you know what? I think I'll rejoin the basketball team. That's how great of an athlete this guy is.
How do you go win the Rose Bowl and then be like, I could add some other shit into my day?
I think I'm also going to join the basketball. Plus, who takes a year off from basketball and then can just join a Division I top level program and just be like, yeah, no, I'm good now. I'm going to play.
Can do that.
It's the weirdest shit in the world, man.
Bo Jackson can.
That's about it. Yeah, basketball. The team goes 10-18. Jesus, that's terrible. Yeah. They go 10-18. They were. He plays in 18 games. 2 games started. 14.1 minutes per game, 0.4 field goals, so not great there.
They're running a triangle. He can't figure that shit out.
Yeah, that's the.
They changed the game plan.
1.3 points per game, so that's not wonderful.
It's over, Andre.
Yeah, 1.3 points a game makes you go, yeah, maybe you should quit.
Yeah.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder. Follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
And now, back to the show.
So the world is this guy's oyster. He's winning the Rose Bowl. Yeah. He's rejoining the basketball team on a whim. Like this is crazy.
To contribute nothing, mind you.
To contribute, just to ride the bench, hang out. It's fun. You know, I don't know. You get to travel.
Extra poon.
What you also get to do is you get to meet ladies.
Yes.
You get to meet ladies. You get to meet a lady named Tanya, is who he meets in college. Pretty quick. They're awfully hot and heavy very, very fast.
Yeah.
It's around this same time, after he's won the Rose Bowl, rejoined the team, where he is arrested for drunk driving at a certain point.
Oh, no.
Details are sketchy. I don't have the actual he was a college junior in Michigan somewhere.
Right.
So
where they can wash it away because he just won the Rose Bowl.
That's exactly right there. So September 30th, 1988, though, he is sentenced to 6 months of probation and fined $415 for that drunk driving charge. So they actually get him.
That's a steep one.
That's a steep one for a first time. They're trying to make a point at that moment in time. He is 21. He turned 21 already.
He must have hit something.
He must have done something stupid. Also, he's quick with that. He's quick on the field, and he's quick with the ladies because this Tanya Hardin that he met, not Tanya Harding, this Tanya Hardin that he met, they have a son excessively quickly. So junior year in college, he's a Rose Bowl champion and a basketball player, and now he's a dad, too. They have a son. Oh, by the way, Andre Jr. Of fucking course it was. So I had to hide that one.
Right away.
Had to hide that one and then hit you with the left hook.
Fucking Junior.
Honestly, how many times is it going to happen? It's clearly a narcissism thing because
it really is.
I mean, you can't help what your parents name you. That's fine. But it's clearly a narcissistic thing when all of these guys name their kid fucking Junior.
Amazing.
Amazing. See, I made another one. Look at that. going to be just as good, but not quite as good, if you know what I mean.
Good Christ.
'Cause I'm the best.
Right.
So, Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
This is all the best of me. Here it is.
Here he is. So, he's got a junior now. Fucking damn it. He said that he had to grow up pretty quick. He eloped with this Tanya Hardin, who he had met the last year of high school, and then got her knocked up.
Okay.
Gets her pregnant. When the mother heard the news, she was pissed.
Merdice? She was not happy?
Well, no, because then they eloped after that, and he got married, and he initially denied that they got married.
He
told his mom, no, we didn't get married. He said, quote, she said, quote, I didn't want him to get married. He was too young. I would say so.
Yeah.
Andre Jr. was actually born while the week of the Rose Bowl, while they were out practicing for the Rose Bowl.
Jesus.
So that tells you right there. Andre waited almost a month before he took the baby to his mother to introduce the baby to his mother. She said, quote, later that night, Andre phoned.
That kid's name is Previn.
Andre Previn Rison Jr. He's like, why is my middle name Previn? It's a German guy.
Let me
Never
tell
mind.
you about this guy, Ludwig.
Ever seen My Fair Lady? No? Fuck. All right. Well,
that's your namesake, kiddo.
It'll be harder to explain then. She said, later that night, Andre phoned and said, quote, I just had to be a man about it. I said, I want you to be a man. I raised you to be strong. So that's
your man.
that.
Your own man.
Your own man. And another man that you're now raising. Now, he says this was weird because he's living a double life. In school, he's top-tier athlete. You know, he's got to have a party guy, all this shit. But he's also got a wife and kid at home, which is not normal for this time period. And he said, quote, few people at Michigan State ever knew I was married. For 2 years, I'd go to school, practice, and then drive home to Flint to be with my wife and son. I was physically and mentally tired. When I didn't get home as much to see them my senior year, my family life went into turmoil. Yeah, because you're in college trying to be like a cool professional athlete. Not really the 9 to 5, honey, I'm home, put your hat on the fucking hat rack and say, what's for dinner? Like, that's not the life you're living.
You're taking your ring off to go to your job. That's crazy.
This is fucked up.
That's so weird. Like, people take their ring off to go to their mistress. He's taking his off to go to the fucking the football field, to go to practice.
Yeah, put it in his pocket quick. So 1988 on the field, though, he earns All-American honors here, catches 39 passes for 961 yards, but that's the year he averages 24.6 per reception, which is almost the record. That's nuts. That's so many. That's so much
I'd just
yardage.
be begging. Just call 2 fly patterns for me and put it over.
Yeah, 8 touchdowns that year, too.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Very good, actually. He's an All-American. Again, he was an All-American his junior year also. He also, the team goes 6-5-1, which sounds like shit, but it's good enough to go to the Gator Bowl.
Wow.
Which, from the Rose Bowl to the Gator Bowl is quite the drop.
But,
that's not terrific. You have to go play in Florida.
Yeah.
Not great. So, the Gator Bowl, they played Georgia. During this, though, they only averaged Michigan State throwing the ball 13 times a game in 1988. So that's what I mean.
Oh, what a boring fucking game.
Awful. And for him to have even that many catches is amazing because they never threw the fucking ball.
That's calling every play to him.
He caught 39 passes. They only threw the ball 13 times a game as a team.
Wow.
So they only threw the ball like 150 times all year, and he caught 39 of those passes that were thrown.
Right.
So it's nuts. So that's why they look at him like, okay, don't look at his stats. Yeah. Don't look at his catches. Look
Sweet
at his
Christ,
yards
how do
per
they
reception.
have any fans that year? That would be the worst fucking game to watch. That's the Chargers when they had Tomlinson. What a boring fucking game.
Those 80s Oklahoma teams that were just all running. There's
a lot of college teams that do that shit.
Especially back in the day. They'd run the option.
Yeah, ugh.
The most boring thing in the world. Let's run the option. 2 guys run. Is it going to be him or him? Oh, he passed it to him, and now they're trying to. It's the same fucking play every time. Stop running it. I don't care if it works. It's boring.
The most annoying play in the NFL is the draw, and when it that like stutter before the handoff. I can't loathe it enough because every time it's a yard, maybe 2. From time to time, they get like fucking 80 yards.
It'll break.
And that's
Most
cool.
of the time, they're stopped immediately upon touching the ball.
Like, why do you even call that fucking play?
It's so ridiculous. So, he ended up this Gator Bowl. He had 252 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 9 catches in that game.
Wow.
They actually opened up the offense for some reason in that game. And 9 catches, 252, and 3 touchdowns.
That's what you do when you have that many games that have that few passes. You fucking start throwing.
And imagine if they did that all year.
Yeah.
He would have insane.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Number 1 draft pick.
That 252 yards was a school record until Plaxico Burress broke it later on.
How about that?
So
Another
not too
dipshit.
bad. They do lose the game 34-27.
Okay.
Another dipshit, but not one that's worthy of an episode.
No.
He shot himself
Just
in the
a
leg.
dummy.
It's not really a crime.
How crazy is that, though, that shit ruined his fucking career?
Oh, God, yeah.
That's amazing. That's wild.
Yeah, when you shoot yourself in public, it tends to fuck things up for you.
In New York City, where guns are fucking
highly illegal. Not smart. Not a smart move on his part.
In a strip club wearing sweatpants.
Not to mention, what's really important to receivers? Legs to run fast.
The most important part
of
your body.
Shoot yourself in the fucking leg, you idiot. God damn it, that was so annoying. As a Giants fan, I'm like, what?
And the guy that caught the most important pass in
I'm like, who
long.
I'm like, who shot Plaxico Burress?
Plaxico
What?
Burress.
Himself? What the fuck? Was he depressed? Not on purpose? It was an accident? What the fuck is going on?
He was grabbing for his dick in a
God,
strip club
I hate
or
this
something.
team. That's what I do. All Giants fans hate the Giants. That's the thing. We hate them. We really
and they were
do.
a year removed from being champion.
Oh, still hated them.
Ridiculous.
So, April 23rd, 1989 is the NFL Draft.
Okay.
This is a big deal. It's at the New York Marriott Marquis Hotel here in New York City, New York. It's on ESPN, obviously. First selection overall. By the way, some weird shit. They always show the most selections in the draft and who had the least amount of draft picks.
Oh, yeah.
The Bears had 20 picks in this draft.
Holy
which is obscene,
shit.
and the Eagles only had 4.
What?
Which is crazy.
How many did they trade away?
Traded shit away. A lot of trades here. 4 Hall of Famers in this draft.
Okay.
All in the top 5 of the picks.
All 4 of them are in the top 5.
All 4, yeah, no sleepers
in
here.
1989?
1989. Number 1 overall pick, Troy Aikman.
Really?
Yeah, who's going to be a Hall of Famer out of UCLA. Then Tony Mandrich, who is known as one of the biggest busts in the history of the NFL. Offensive lineman who turned out to be on just oodles of steroids and wasn't as strong as everyone thought he was.
And who did they pass on?
Just a mediocre.
Yeah.
Let's find out who the Green Bay Packers passed on to get
Mandrich.
Tony Mandrich. This has nothing to do with our guy, but it's super interesting. So Mandrich also played at Michigan State, too. It's Horizon's teammate.
Is that right?
Number 3 overall, Barry Sanders.
Holy shit.
Our top 3 running back in the history of the league.
And the
most
Packers
exciting
passed on
player
him
ever.
to let him run all over them 2 times
for
a season.
A decade and a half, or at least a decade. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Number 4, if you wanted some defense, how about Derek Thomas?
Holy shit.
The Hall of Fame linebacker for the Chiefs. You could have had him.
Also dead.
Number 5, if you didn't want anybody to pass on you, how about Deion Sanders? Maybe you grab him like the Falcons did with number 5, another Hall of Famer. So, yeah.
And possibly the most fascinating person to watch on TV.
He's a trip, man.
He's an idiot, but he's so fun to watch.
He really is. This team, also Broderick Thomas, who's the Tampa Bay linebacker, Tim Worley, I remember him, Pittsburgh running back. So the rest of the Donnell Wolford, the rest of the first round kind of rounds out in a kind of a poor showing. Bunch of
fizzle.
Eric Metcalf, who was pretty good for a while.
Yeah.
He wasn't too bad. Finally, at number 22, and that's the thing. Back then, scouting wasn't the same as it is now. Mm-hmm. Now they would know. Who cares about that he had this many receptions? It doesn't matter. Did you see his running? Did you see the combine, the 40 time? We have all this film on him. He would go high.
Yeah.
Everybody had him rated as a top 10 talent, and he goes all the way at number 22.
Ouch.
And it's just a matter of needs, because if you look at a lot of teams pick based on needs, and only one wide receiver had been picked before him in the draft. So it's nobody needed wide receivers. Hart Lee Dykes.
What?
Exactly.
Who?
Hart Lee Dykes had a terrible NFL career.
It's not. First name is not Hartley. It's Hart
Lee
Davis.
Dykes. Not Davis.
Way worse.
Dykes.
So awful. And he went where?
He went number 16 overall. He plays 26 games, I believe, in the NFL. That is his career.
Whoops-a-daisy.
And so but I mean, the receivers weren't going a lot, very fast here. And then number 22, Indianapolis, the Colts select Andre Rison, finally. So he is picked there. Steve Atwater goes 2 picks before him, by the way.
Oh, really?
So, there you go.
Best DBs ever. God damn it.
Great free safety he was. So after that, you had some guys, Steve Wisniewski, guys like that. Pretty uneventful draft. A couple guys who broke their neck in the same draft, Dennis Byrd and Mike Utley. Which I found. I don't know why I see. I don't.
How do you get it?
Once I find Andre Rison's number 22, I should stop reading. Right?
Yeah.
That's the end of it. No. I read the whole fucking draft.
2 guys in the same draft broke their fucking neck.
Number 42 overall, the Jets picked Dennis Byrd, who then broke his neck in '92, I think. And then the number 59th pick overall is Mike Utley, who again broke his fucking neck. Super weird, right?
That's a bananas fact.
I found that super odd too. I was like, that's the strangest fact. So
Andre went to the Colts. Did he play there?
Oh, absolutely.
Did he really?
Goes, by the way, in 1989, his rookie year, we'll go across the league and just kind of give you a state of the NFL union here.
Sure.
The 49ers win the Super Bowl that year. If you remember, they blow Denver out horribly.
Is that what happened?
I think it did. Yeah. It's like 55-10 or something. It was bad. MVP of the league is Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year is Barry Sanders this year.
You betcha.
Defensive Rookie of the year is Derek Thomas.
Holy fuck, how bad do the Packers feel?
2 guys they could have had, the 2 rookies of the
Stars.
year. Fuck and fuck. Great. The defensive player of the year was Keith Millard from the Vikings.
Okay.
I remember him nose tackle for the Vikings. Passing leader, Don Majkowski, the Magic Man on the
Is that
Packers.
right?
Yeah, with his mullet. Rushing leader, Nigerian Nightmare, Christian Okoye, 1,480 yards.
Steve Atwater flattened that motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. And receiving leader, Jerry Rice.
You bet.
So that's the kind of the snapshot of where we are in football.
It's a nice season.
That's a nice
fun
season to
knowing
watch.
Knowing what you know now, going back
all
to
those
watch
Hall of
that would be
Famers,
insane.
Just watching great players left and right. The Colts that year, with Andre joining the team, they go 8-8. They're second in the AFC East. They don't make the playoffs.
They were second with 8-8.
Second with 8-8.
Depressing fucking NFC East.
Yeah, the AFC East was weak back then.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was a weak division back then. The Jets sucked.
They still are.
The Dolphins were shit after the mid '80s being good. They were Now you got the Patriots in there now. So,
but they got fucking Dolphins, Colts, Jets.
Yeah.
No, it is Colts, right? Dolphins, Colts, Jets?
Colts are not in the...
that's Colts and Patriots.
Yeah. It's Patriots, Dolphins, Bills, and Jets.
That's it.
There's the AFC East now. Back then it was a different deal, obviously.
That's a shit division.
It's a shit division. That's a division I don't want to watch.
Right.
So I don't want to watch the 89 Colts either at 8-8. This was the Jack Trudeau was their quarterback, but this was right after they got Eric Dickerson from the Rams. So that's... they got some excitement to them there. Dickerson was amazing.
He's a great player, but running back does not make your team.
No, absolutely. No. You need a little more, especially when Jack Trudeau is your quarterback.
Right.
So
they know where you're going.
Yeah, his rookie year, Rison plays in all 16 games. He starts 13 of them. Has 52 receptions, which that's a productive rookie year right there.
T.Y. Hilton.
Not bad at all. 820 rookie receiving yards and 15.8 yards per reception with 4 touchdowns.
He's a success.
That's a great season. Never mind a great rookie season. For rookie, that's tremendous. The team loses the final game of the year to the Saints, 41-6.
Ouch.
That's brutal.
Sent home like that.
That's the end of the year. That's how shit of a team it was. To the Saints, 40. They just gave up.
They were 8-7 that day, fixing to try to go 9-7.
Yeah,
and they
nope. Once it started to go bad, they were like, "Fuck it, we're 8-8." Guys,
on the bus.
They're coming to put the pool in at my house in about 20 minutes, so I'm going to get wrapped up here with this football season. Now, Andre makes the NFL All-Rookie team, which is fantastic. He makes. Money-wise, this includes an $890,000 signing bonus because he's a first-rounder.
Wow.
He makes $1,175,000 that year.
Holy shit.
And they make a huge deal out of this. There's a huge article because that is more than he should have made where he got drafted because it's all slotted.
Yeah.
If, the 19th guy makes this, the 20th guy makes a little less, 21st guy. He made more than the guy in front of him because... the way they negotiated it was I don't care where you drafted me. You know I'm a top 10 talent, and you know you
so
need
they paid
me.
him top 10 talent money.
So they paid him and basically the article talked to the owner, Jim Irsay, who's a lunatic.
Yeah.
And
straight up lunatic.
his deal was the last 6 years we can't get a first rounder in a camp.
Right.
And then it turned John Elway was a Colts first round draft pick, and look what happened there. Great career with the Broncos. So they're not good at signing first round draft picks. So they literally said this year we're not fucking around.
Yeah.
We're going to go in there. We're going to give him the money he wants, and we're going to just get this guy in and see if that changes the way we do business here. Which is odd that an owner would do that, but that's what they do.
I mean, he does weird shit, so that makes sense that would be something he does.
That's true. And a lot of the other owners were pissed off at him because they were like, why the
sets
fuck
a
would you give him
precedent,
that money? And then now I have to do
Yeah.
this, and now other people are going to want to do that.
Exactly.
And they're like, fuck you, we needed a receiver.
Right. I don't give a fuck about your business model. This is mine.
That's what they said. They were like, sorry, but we need a receiver, literally, and Rison's a top 10
and
talent.
look what he did for us. Fuck you.
And the other thing is they didn't expect him to fall to them. That was they were like, holy shit, Rison's available.
Yeah.
We'll take him. So at that point, it's like, fuck, we got a guy we expected to go at 12, at 22.
Right.
So we got to
May as
pay
well
him a
give
little
him
more
12 money.
That's the thing. So they end up doing that. He says,
He
and
made
this
over
is,
$2 million his first season.
no, over $1 million.
Wait,
It's
what?
$1,175,000.
Okay,
That
that's
includes,
with the signing bonus.
That includes
Got
the
it.
signing
Okay.
bonus. Now, he had never dealt with money before,
yeah.
and his money issues are...
And you get over $1 million in over 16 weeks.
Yeah, well,
that's not over the full year.
Well, no, 890 is a check.
Oh,
you
that's
get.
right
that's
now.
A signing bonus.
Oh, shit.
There you go, sir.
Oh, that's a problem.
So he didn't know anything about money, as that's the rest of the episode is him fucking up with money and doing stupid things and being wanted by the police for his stupid things.
Amazing.
And also gunplay.
Yeah.
But he says, quote, this is amazing. We got, even though it's short, we got to do it in their own words because it's so incredible. In their own words, quote, the first time I got my check and I saw there was a big chunk taken out of it, I went to the team office, and that's when I found out about the taxes and everything.
That was the day you found out about taxes?
Didn't know. He was like, why the fuck's this big chunk of money taken out of my check? He was like, you guys are fucking shorting me. He stormed in the office like, what the fuck,
It's supposed
man?
to be $890, not $420. What the fuck is
Who's this FICA motherfucker? I'll kick him in the dick. Where's his office? I will fuck him up.
What's fed? I've been fed. I don't need
I
federal
don't need-
withholding.
I'll feed myself.
Withholding.
I'll feed myself. I don't need to pay nobody to feed me. Fuck this guy. No, that's what he did, though. And they were
That's
like,
hysterical.
you have to pay taxes
Right.
because we live in America. That's how it works. So
You like those roads you got here on, you dipshit?
And he was like, that's how schools are. That's how that happens. Okay, now I get it. Wow. So,
oh, that's amazing.
now, I told you about that terrible New Orleans game at the last part of the season to tell you what happens like 2 days later.
Yeah.
So they get blown out. He has to be feeling pretty good about himself, though, and his performance in his rookie year, but still, you get blown out. December 26th, 1989. He is charged with reckless driving.
2 days later.
This is 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, boy.
Near Fort Wayne, Indiana. That he is driving his brand new 1989 Mercedes.
Is he driving back to Flint, Michigan from...
I don't know. They don't say where he was.
he's in Indiana.
He's
Okay,
in
plays
Indiana.
for the Colts. Never mind.
Yeah, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah. Got it.
Driving around, brand new Mercedes, 5:30 in the morning. Speed limit is 55.
He's going.
He is clocked doing 128, which is slightly more than 55.
5:30 in the morning on a Tuesday.
Going 128 miles an hour. That's so much more than 58.
Where are you going so fast,
It's
sir?
more than double
Right.
55 miles an hour. That is terrible. He's actually arrested because it's reckless driving. It's
Yeah,
not just a speeding
it's
ticket.
criminal.
When you're that's aggressively flouting the law.
Yeah.
That's just like fucking.
Who cares?
You are going up to the police chief and blowing a bong hit in his face. Right. You're asking to get fucked with.
That's lobbing a hooker's head in the police chief's lap.
He can't even let you get away with it because you're on the Colts. He's like, dude, they're fucking everyone's talking about the whole. You're going 128 miles an hour. That doesn't happen in Indiana very often.
When you
Outside
got to
of
90.
the 500, we don't get much of that behavior. Were you headed to the track, sir?
When you got to 90, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
How did you think?
Fuck
38
it.
more is fine.
Well, he actually has an excuse about it.
boy.
He has an explanation. First of all, he's taken to the Allen County lockup where he posted a $500 bond and was released before 7 a.m. So the whole thing took less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's not bad. This is amazing. The police spokesman said, quote, He told the officer he thought he was driving between 95 and 100 because he said that's what it feels like when you're driving 55 in a regular car. So he's like, my Mercedes is so fucking nice, I didn't realize I was driving 130 because it feels like I'm driving 50. When I'm driving 90 in this, it feels like 55.
Right.
So I thought I was driving 90 when I was driving 130, which feels like 90 still in this car. If you know math, which is still faster than 55, which is the speed limit. So either way, here's my wrist, cuff me. I'm
Here's
a fucking
the thing.
moron.
130 miles an hour feels every mile of it. When you once you get over, like when we went to Texas, we did $110, $120 a couple of times.
Oh, and it felt it.
It felt it.
Yeah.
And those cars, that thing's not high. It's when you're that low to the ground doing that speed, you feel every fucking
pebble
mile.
You hear.
Yeah.
So, That's what's going on. So he's being a dipshit now, and he's just he's sowing his wild oats at this point. He feels
Y'all
like
don't understand.
Shit.
Y'all ever had $980,000 just given to you?
It's the feeling. The feeling. It makes you feel like you're only going 55 miles an hour. It's super weird. You'll see what I mean. It's like you're floating. So 1990 comes around. The draft is April 22nd, 1990 that year. April 20th, 1990, 2 days before the draft, the Atlanta Falcons, who were 3-13 the year before, they trade the first overall pick. They had the first overall pick. They trade the first overall pick and the fourth round pick that they have to the Indianapolis Colts, who want that first pick. And in return, the Falcons get Chris Hinton, who was the guy that the Broncos gave to the Colts for John Elway.
Oh, is that right?
That's the guy, yeah.
Interesting.
He got switched for them. Very interesting there. So it's for him and Andre Rison.
Okay.
So they trade Rison to the Falcons here and a couple of draft picks too later on. He's
got to feel like shit.
Yeah, he's like,
just
fuck.
Bounced everywhere.
The deal, they did all of this so the Colts could draft Jeff George, who is a huge draft bust and amazing arm. Had that one great year with the Raiders where they were like 3-13, but he threw for 35 touchdowns and had like 6 picks or so. He was a great year, but it doesn't fucking matter. So they ended up signing George, the Colts did, and then the deal goes through. George gets a 6-year, $15 million contract, including a $3.5 million signing bonus.
Ouch.
It's a good check there. The Colts, a lot of the fans were pissed off at the deal.
Well, yeah.
They were like, what the fuck? We like both those
finally
guys.
Got somebody that and a receiver that is good.
I mean, if George was good, it would have been worth it, but he's not. He's not John Elway. They were like, we're going to do it different this time. We don't want to let that's literally what they said. We don't want to let the next John Elway get away like we did last time. It's like, well, you don't. You have Jeff George.
Right.
Far from John Elway.
Well, good for you guys because you're not doing it.
Yeah. Shit. Irsay, the batshit owner, said, quote, obviously we feel this trade will prove to be very significant for this organization. Yeah, it was significant. It destroyed them for like 8 years.
Decimated everything.
It destroyed them until Peyton Manning in 98. Literally, it destroyed the organization because they traded away their future for a bust who wasn't even on the team 3 years later.
And they were
Jeff
garbage
George.
for so long after that.
Yeah, they were a 1-win team, a 3-win team. Jim Harbaugh playing quarterback. It was a fucking mess. So whole thing's a kind of a mess, but he goes to Atlanta, which is kind of a better situation at to even though they weren't that great. It's just a better environment that nobody wants to be around the Irsays in Indy. They're just assholes. So 1990 goes to the Falcons. This is the Chris Miller playing quarterback, Dion on the team. The team goes 5-11, but they're coached by Jerry Glanville, so what do you expect? That crazy nutcase. He's like a crazy cowboy caricature that they let be in charge of a multi-billion-dollar organization.
Bizarre-looking man, too.
He's such an idiot. He's funny, but he's a fucking idiot. So that year, Andre plays in all 16 games, starts 15 of them, 82 receptions, which is great. Back then, 82 was
That's
off
absurd,
the charts. I remember when Sterling Sharp got 100, it was like, oh my God, that's incredible. And now that's nothing, 100, because with all the dink and dunk
that's all
passing.
they do now.
Yeah, 1,208 yards, 14.7 yards per reception, 10 touchdowns.
All right.
So that's pretty fucking good.
It's great.
So great, he makes the Pro Bowl that year in his second year, and he's first team All-Pro.
Second year, and he's already the number one.
He's number one. First team All-Pro. It's like him and Jerry Rice are the NFC All-Pro receivers.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what that tells you. That's the
awesome.
level he put himself in that quickly. He makes $312,500 that year.
That ain't Jerry Rice money.
That is not Jerry Rice money. That's no signing bonus here. He divorces Tanya during this year as well. They have 2 kids total together, both boys. Total, he's going to have 4 boys. So yeah, they actually all turn out pretty like decent people. Good. It seems like. So December 17th, 1990. This is amazing. This is after he's gone to Atlanta. He's feeling like hot shit. There's an article about him that he and his friend, a guy named Ray Stingray Potter from Lansing, Michigan. What are they doing? What do you think they're doing, Jimmy?
They're smoking crack.
They are collaborating on an album, which is worse than smoking crack. I would rather have an athlete smoke crack than make an album.
I mean, a guy named Stingray, I should have guessed music.
But if they're smoking crack, they might just have a problem that can be solved.
Right.
If they are making an album, they have a narcissistic bug that's never going to go away.
They're pumping their own money into something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Collaborating on an album they plan to release in January under the name Embrace. This never came out, by the way.
Really?
This was a month later. It was supposed to come out. Nothing ever happened with this album. The name Embrace was their group, apparently. Rison set up a studio in his condo bedroom.
Oh, no.
Which is interesting.
Can you imagine being that guy's neighbor? Oh,
having to listen to this guy fucking rap.
Well, he's in his fucking apartment.
They have, the way this article describes it, quote, 3 computerized keyboards which sit on cardboard boxes covered with beach towels serve as their, quote, orchestra.
Yeah.
Rison and Potter have written lyrics for 10 ballads and 15 up-tempo songs, taped layers of melodic lines on a 4-track recorder, and stacked their voices, beginning with tenor leads and filling in baritone, alto, and soprano backup.
And have paid numerous fines to the
what?
To the apartment complex for noise pollution.
Well, the next line is the best part of it at all.
Yeah.
They said all that then they said the next line is, quote, neither reads or writes music. So there's that.
Killing it. Yeah.
But Stingray has a rich, full voice developed through years of gospel singing. Rison's voice, on the other hand, sounds strained and flat, which is great. He says, quote, a few months ago, this is what the other guy, Stingray, says about him, quote, a few months ago, he sounded like James Brown, shrieking and screaming into the microphone. What Andre has for him is a passion for music. He's not Luther Vandross, but who is? His own partner's like, he can't sing really, but he likes it. He has fun out there. So, and he's like famous and pays for all this shit. You know how that works. So
he can't sing, but he bought so much shit.
But he bought these microphones that they work really well.
They're amazing.
He envisions, though, Rison said he envisions music videos, concert tours, gold albums, and shelves full of Grammys. Full. He said, quote, you just wait. When we go into the studio, I'll blow everybody away. I'm determined to make it. I'll be a star someday. MC Hammer, you can't touch me.
Is that what he said?
He said that in 1990. In 1990, he said that.
He said that at the height of man's fame.
At the height of MC Hammer.
Before the Addams Family remix.
Oh, yeah.
He's banging on him before he's got too legit to quit
when
out.
Normal people were wearing parachute pants because of that man.
He's banging on him already.
He's like, fuck him. Ironic part of this whole thing, or coincidental, I should say.
They might be roommates right now.
Well, they're both sharing a room at the poorhouse, but 1991, the beginning of the next year, he appears in the MC Hammer Too Legit to Quit video.
Holy shit, he was in it?
After he talks shit to MC Hammer. Which is fucking amazing.
He was in that video. That's amazing.
He just likes to run his mouth,
Yeah.
and everyone says it. Chris Hinton here says, quote, Andre's mouth goes 120 miles per hour. In the huddle, it's a wonder any quarterback can get a word in edgewise. Andre says, I want the ball. Throw it to me. I can score. Then after the snap, I've got to hurry downfield to protect him from the opponents he talks to.
Was his mouth powering his Mercedes
Apparently,
that night?
yeah. It goes, that's why I thought he was going 95.
Yeah.
The extra 30
I was talking, officer. You don't understand.
It shoots up when I talk. It's energy.
I was saying, fuck MC Hammer, and it just sped.
But this guy, these offensive linemen have to go block, do the play. Then they have to run downfield to protect Andre Rison because everyone wants to beat the shit out of him because he's been talking shit the whole way down the field. That's every play. That's how it's described.
Jesus Christ.
Now, Andre, come on, he's got a different... He doesn't say, I'm a pain in the ass that everybody has to, fucking protect. He says, in their own words, quote, Ask my friends. They'll tell you I'm a comedian. I don't throw my achievements in anybody's face. The comments I make are always funny. When I'm doing my job, I'm doing what gets Andre over. And I can't think of what somebody else thinks about me. I have to worry about what's up under my helmet. A wide receiver is supposed to be skinny, not very strong, fluid, and timid. I'm totally the opposite. Nobody can intimidate me. I will use my name in the third person twice in one fucking quote.
Exactly.
And use a wrestling term, too. It was over. Like, what the fuck, man? He has lost his fucking mind. He's only been in the league 2 years. You see what's going to happen to this guy? He's barely a star yet. He's just been in an MC Hammer video. It's not even his video. So that season, the Falcons go 10-6 under Coach Glanville there, which isn't bad. They actually go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They win a wild card game.
Really?
27-20 versus the Saints.
Yeah.
This was the time when the Saints had never won a playoff game.
The Aints?
The Aints, yeah. And even when they were good there with the Bobby Hebert, Dalton Hilliard.
Oh, yeah.
What was Pat Swilling was a great linebacker.
Yes.
They had Jackson, the linebacker. They had a stacked team.
Was Michael Haynes a wide receiver there, too?
Yes, I don't know about that time he was or not, but he was, definitely. And then they end up losing to the Redskins that year, 24-7 in the divisional playoffs. That was the year the Redskins went to blow out the Bills in the Super Bowl. They were a juggernaut, so can't hold that against him. He makes the Pro Bowl again in 91. He plays in 16 games, starts 15, 81 receptions. He had 82 the year before, so consistent as shit. 976 yards, 12 yards per reception, and 12 touchdowns. So
wow,
that's great. Makes the Pro Bowl, makes $500,000
up in the ante.
That'll buy some beach towels to put on those cardboard boxes in your in your recording
studio.
Put
some foam up in your studio and respect your neighbors, you dick.
Please, lots of it. Double layer that shit. It's at this point where he meets another lady.
Okay.
This lady will be having lots of contact with him forever, most of the time through lawyers and the courts.
Oh.
But we'll find out. This is Raycoya Handley.
Okay.
He meets I saw your face.
Yeah.
Raycoa. Raycoya. Raycoa.
Yeah.
Raycoa Handley.
Raycoa Handley.
Raycoa Handley.
What a shit name.
They're going to have 2 more kids.
Oh,
also,
my God.
Of course, 4 boys total. So, yeah, he's got to do that.
Oh, boy.
92 Falcons go 6-10. Jerry Glanville again. Fire this fucking guy. They ended up firing him eventually, but Jesus. 92 makes the Pro Bowl again. Not too bad. He has plays in 15 games, starts 13 of them. 93 receptions this year. Fuck no.
This was when he started to climb the ladder and pluck balls out of the air that he had no business getting.
Yeah, he was doing shit like that.
Yeah.
He was just so fast, streaking. He's a deep threat like crazy. 1,119 yards, which is great. 12 yards per reception and 11 touchdowns.
Good
That's
God.
a fantastic year.
Yeah.
Like I said, good for the Pro Bowl and good for $875,000 as well. Not bad. Now, okay. This is what's interesting here. Now, he met the Raycoa, and he's having kids with her and kind of whatever, sort of with her, but mainly just impregnating her twice, not really with her.
Okay.
But he also meets another lady at this point.
Okay.
He meets a famous lady. He meets Lisa Left Eye from TLC.
Yeah.
Was it Lopez or
Lisa
Lopez?
Lopez.
Lopez.
I think it's Lopez.
Yeah, that's what I always thought too, but you never know. So he meets Left Eye there from TLC.
Yeah, it is Lopes, right?
Yeah.
It's not the traditional spelling.
Exactly. So
that's why it's a little scary. Yeah.
So he meets her in March of 93.
Yeah.
They become friends.
Yeah.
Jesus, not more than friends. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
He says, quote, "It didn't matter to me that she was a celebrity. It was just her that I loved."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's blinded by the celebrity shit. Someone needs to tell him hey, you're kind of famous too.
Right.
You don't have to be famous making an album.
No.
You're famous for playing football.
So what? You don't got. So
who cares?
Nobody needs a fucking hit song to be.
Not from you.
No.
Catch balls.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Leave
That's
your
it.
fucking music shit in your back pocket, in your condo. Keep it in there,
absolutely.
and don't say shit about it.
So
it's fine.
Just in that room, block it off.
Yeah.
Don't let your
We
neighbors
know what
hear.
you do.
Double up the foam.
Yeah.
So this is March of 93. They meet and start dating pretty heavily, pretty seriously right away, as people who have crazy relationships tend to do.
Sure.
They get very deep very fast.
Yeah.
And that's what happened here.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories, 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
And now back to the show.
So that was March. They just meet. Mm-hmm. So you'd figure this was going to be a honeymoon period here.
At some point.
Two celebrities are going to have a good time and hang out for a while. Until September 3rd, 1993. Okay. That period seems to be up. As Rison here, Andre is arrested on a Thursday night on charges that he beat her and fired a gun into the air after two men tried to stop him from beating her. In public, mind you.
So he beat the shit out of her. Two guys tried to stop it, so he fired warning shots.
Yeah, apparently they left an Atlanta nightclub together, the two of these, and they got in an argument, and it was at that point where he was assaulting her, from what everybody saw, and then he was also, by the way, Lopez was also charged here with obstruction for allegedly attacking the police officer who then came to arrest him in true white trash fashion. White trash as fuck. Yeah. The cops come to then break up your fight. And you then turn on the cop.
He seems like one of those scrubs that she talked about she didn't want.
I believe that's the exact person she was going for here. Andre said, quote, "All I was doing was defending myself. It's a matter of a situation where we thought I might be hindered or harmed, and I protected myself."
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that against a woman in a parking lot. I'm sorry. You can't do that. Police said that Lopez went inside a Kroger grocery store, and then once that happened, he followed her in and began striking her with his fist.
My goodness.
So he started punching her in a Kroger, which is a weird place to assault anyone. Yeah. Then Lopez, I guess, ran outside, and while she goes outside, Rison goes the other way to go to his car to get a gun. Okay?
Can you imagine being a shopper?
Yeah.
And they're right at the entrance of the grocery store.
Yeah,
every one of them is the produce section.
She ran in.
Right. And
punch.
You're pulling fucking mac and cheese off the shelf. You're like, is that Andre Rison beating the shit out of Left Eye?
Not only that, every time they're doing it, the fucking automatic doors are opening and closing, which is another thing that's very distracting. Right. I feel like it's punch open, punch close. I'm sorry, that's terrible. But yeah, no one should be punching anybody, but the other shoppers that's crazy. So then she runs outside, and but by the way, we're saying all this because we know what her revenge is, Jimmie and I do. Yeah. If you don't know, trust me, she gets revenge. Yeah. So let's just say that. Not that it makes it right, but she gets plenty of revenge. And at this point,
too, she was one of the most famous pop stars.
She was huge.
It was them and SWV,
They
man.
were a big power couple.
Fucking
it was
bananas.
them, and it was David Justice and Halle Berry were another big couple.
I'm thinking about pop groups.
I was thinking about like these famous couples. Okay, like it was,
it was Bobby Brown and these two.
Whitney, Halle Berry and David Justice, and like these two.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those two.
Yeah. So anyway, after all, Jesus Christ. She runs outside. It's not funny. She runs outside away from him because he's beating her. He runs to his car to get a gun for some reason. I don't know why you would need a gun. So then a woman offers a ride to Left Eye, which sounds reasonable. Yeah. Can I help you? Do you need a ride?
Let's go chase waterfalls.
So Rison then threatens this woman with the gun.
Yes.
And fired some shots into a wall outside the store to let this lady know that he meant fucking business.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He says that he was carrying his gun only for protection, but he ran to the car to get protection from who? Your girlfriend? What the fuck is wrong with you? She weighs 110 pounds. Right. I don't think you need protection from her.
She is the smallest of the group.
She's tiny, and you're
so little.
A professional athlete. So
she had a condom in one of the videos over her eye, and it covered like her whole head.
Yeah, she's a small
so
person.
Little.
He also said, quote, "A man of my stature and the stature of the women I date, we're both stars."
Okay.
So he's like, I got to carry a gun because we're both stars. Right. Now, he ends up being freed on $16,500 bond because he beat the shit out of a woman and fired shots off in a public place.
And threatened another woman. Store.
And threatened another woman with a gun. This isn't a nightclub at 2 a.m.
This is a fucking...
Where it's like everybody there, like we always say, like the second you go into a nightclub past midnight, you're automatically 49% responsible for getting beat up. Like we always say that for whatever happens to you, no matter how little it's your fault. This is a grocery store in the middle of the day.
The last place you expect to see Andre Rison shooting a 9mm at the grocery
There's
cart.
Old ladies and kids and shit there, and he's bucking shots off in the parking lot, going, "Don't be giving my woman a ride."
Yeah.
Wow. So, he's a fucking mess at that point.
Unbelievable.
So, as if he didn't have enough going on in his life, now with all this football, he's got MC Hammer videos, he's got famous girlfriends that he's firing shots off at in Kroger parking lots, as if that's not enough.
Yeah.
And so on September 6th, 1993, I don't know if this was a distraction or what, because that was September 3rd.
Okay.
September 6th, he announces that he's considering playing basketball in Europe.
Oh.
What? Where the fuck did that come from?
You're the #1 receiver. You can't leave.
You're a Pro Bowler every single year.
Right.
He says, quote, "I know I could take those guys. There's a lot of stiffs being imported over there, and they're coming back here with all that money. Damn, it's like stealing. Showtime in Europe? Yeah, I could see it now. I'd be taking people to the hoop in about 10 different languages."
Oh, boy.
This is where his brain, he's lost it.
Yeah.
Now with the album and with it, he's lost his fucking mind into a narcissistic pit.
Remember what happened when you took a 1-year break from basketball?
Yeah.
Now you're taking like a 4-year break and you're going to go back?
4 years. He hasn't played since 87.
This is fucking
87 is the last time he played.
Is
and that was against college players, and he had 1.2 points per game.
Right.
Don't say you're going to do that. Just stick to what the fuck you're doing. Stop being an asshole. But this is what I mean. He's so narcissistic. He's like, "Oh shit, I'll go over there." Yeah. And he referred to himself he's referred to his own nickname that he gave himself in the third person.
And what is it?
Showtime. This is like the Lakers.
I didn't realize he called himself that.
Yeah, well, that was the beginning of his career, and then we'll go on to later on, and then obviously he can call himself whatever he wants because Chris Berman on Primetime from day one called him Andre Bad Moon Rison. Right. So everyone on earth that knows who he is says, "Oh, Bad Moon Rison." Right. Everyone knows that. Yeah. So then he tried later on fast forward a little bit here, when he goes to Kansas City in the late 90s, he renames himself Spider-Man.
Did he really?
They say, "Why is your name?" And when he'd score a touchdown, he'd act like he was shooting webs out of his hand.
Andre, that's trademark,
And
bro.
people would say, "Why are you calling yourself Spider-Man?" And he'd say, "Well, Spider-Man has a really positive image, and I'd like to project that more." And it's like, well, Spider-Man solves crimes.
Right.
He fucking goes into the city and takes down villains. You're doing shit.
Spider-Man wraps dudes like you in webs until the police get there.
Yeah, while they're beating their girlfriend at a grocery store. Oh no, that guy's about to fire a gunshot in a broad daylight at a grocery store. Psh, I better hit him with the web.
So he called himself Showtime. Meanwhile, there was already the Lakers were Showtime. There's been a ton of Showtimes.
He said he's going to bring Showtime to Europe.
Oh, Jesus.
That's
You're
the Lakers.
Bring Deion Sanders with you? Didn't he go by Showtime for a while too?
No, he was Primetime.
Primetime, that's right.
So, 1993.
I just remember Neon.
Yeah, Neon, Deion, Primetime. October 27th, 1993, an Atlanta municipal judge dismissed assault and weapons charges against Rison based on the Lopez incident because she wouldn't cooperate with the whole thing, obviously, because she attacked a police officer. She was freed on $1,200 bond that day, by the way. Prosecutors said the case might be reopened and it might be investigated further. He was also that day charged with an aggravated assault, discharging a firearm, simple battering, and carrying a pistol without a license.
He didn't even have a license.
Fuck no. And he could get one.
Yeah.
You're a goddamn, you have enough money, you can go get a license.
That's what it is. Guys like this carrying an unlicensed firearm, it's like,
in
why are
Georgia,
you doing that?
Too.
Yeah.
You can have guns there. It's probably pretty easy. It's the South. I can't imagine it's hard to get them.
It's an afternoon filling out a paperwork.
That's probably it.
Absurd.
The team that year goes 6-10, the Falcons. Not that it matters to him. He's got a lot of other shit going on. But still, this is 93. He makes the Pro Bowl again this year. But I'm going to play football. I'm going to play basketball, idiot. Starts all 16 games, has 86 receptions. So, I mean, this is consistent. 82, 81, 93, 86.
I can't even think of the number 2 receiver
great.
while he was there.
That's great.
That's how
Atlanta, yeah,
that's how important he was to that team. He was it.
If you played Super Tecmo Bowl, you know that he was the team. He was the guy you're passing to. 1,242 yards receiving this year and 15 touchdowns, which is huge.
Great.
That's monstrous. He led the league in receiving touchdowns.
Led the league.
Yeah, 14.4 yards per reception. Makes the Pro Bowl and makes a good chunk of money.
Yeah.
This year he makes $2,109,000.
Oh boy.
So now we're talking.
Yeah.
He really starts to piss his money away too. Let's get a few quotes from later on.
That's the thing too. What are they doing at Kroger? They don't even shop there.
No.
There's no way he shops at that grocery store.
I feel like they pulled over because they were fighting in the parking lot, and she said, "Let me out of the fucking car."
Right.
And she got out of the car, and she went in the grocery store because she's like, "I'll go in here where it's public, and he'll leave me the fuck alone."
He won't
and
punch
he said,
me over the bananas.
Not so fast. I'll punch you right in front of the oatmeal. That Quaker Oats guy does not fucking deter me one bit.
Doesn't slow me down.
And
he fucking amps me up. Matter of fact.
So he said about this. This is later on. This is a quote from that Broke documentary that ESPN put out, which is the most entertaining shit you're going to watch. It's an hour and a half of formerly very wealthy athletes telling you what they did to piss all their money away. And then at the end, you're like, the guy's like, I'm on Social Security insurance. The other guy's like, I got disability. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. This is fucking horrible. One time I had 3 houses and a yacht and 5 cars and $1 million in the bank, and now I live with my uncle and collect Social Security. The whole basement's mine, though. And you're like, oh, my God. This is terrible.
It's like Toe Nash.
Oh, it is.
Minus all the horrible crimes.
And plus success at some point. He says, quote, I guarantee you I spend $1 million on jewelry. Chains, crosses, you name it. How much is that one? It doesn't matter. Just get it.
Whoa.
So that's how he was rolling.
That's
just
stupid.
That's what I mean. Stupid
Dumb
shit.
as fuck.
He wasn't like, I tried to start like a restaurant chain and it failed, and I tried to do like business shit.
Right.
That was stupid.
Tried to make more money with my money.
He was buying chains and crosses and cars, and he said later on, like, if he knew somebody like from around that he knew that was like good at music, I'll just throw him money, get a studio. Just here, go buy all the equipment you need. Like, you just do your thing. Like, he was just like shit like that. Like,
dumb.
Yeah, dumb. Stupid as fuck. Tried to start a record label later, which is never a good idea for an athlete to do. That's not your business.
No.
Sorry.
You
know
catch
what?
football. Stick with that.
Do you see any record executives fucking running a fade route to the back corner of the end zone? Probably not.
Last time you saw Barry Gordy running the fucking 40.
That's
ever.
Not happening.
No.
So stay out of their business. Jesus.
Who's that head Michael, whatever the fuck, the guy that fucking robbed Michael Jackson for all the money?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that guy play football?
Nope,
Fuck no. He's
not
fat
at all.
as shit and is loving his
wealthy.
life. Yeah.
So June 8th, 1994. Here's where shit gets crazy. Okay. Rison goes out clubbing with some buddies.
Oh, boy.
He gets home after 5 a.m. He's greeted by a pissed off Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Yeah.
He's not happy that he's home at 5 a.m.
No, where you been, motherfucker?
Yeah, she says that she's upset, or he says that she's upset that he bought himself a bunch of new sneakers and didn't get her any. She's not even mad, apparently, that he's home at 5 a.m. She's like, why the fuck you buying all those sneakers and I got nothing? So that's an odd thing. At 5 a.m., that's the last argument you expect when you come home.
Lisa, you've got enough money to buy your own shit.
Buy your platinum albums.
Why are you relying on this idiot?
He claims, though, through this whole thing, he claims he was, quote, very sober, which makes me think he's not sober at all. That's like O.J. Simpson saying, I'm 100% absolutely, positively not guilty.
Right.
So just say you're not guilty. Don't say you're very sober. There's either sober or not sober.
Right.
One of the two. Very sober means I had a few drinks.
Right.
So He says, quote, I knew she'd been drinking some, but I didn't know what was upsetting her. I started taking blows to the face. Finally, I grabbed her and asked her what was wrong, but she kept coming at me. Okay. He claims that Left Eye, that he slapped her now in an effort to calm her down.
Okay.
Not in a violent way. You know, he's a good guy, obviously. It's not in like a punch in the grocery store type of way. This is in, like we've talked about, like someone's hysterical in a movie, and then you slap them and they go, thanks, I needed that.
Yeah.
That's what he's claiming he did. She was attacking him for no reason, so he said he slapped her in an effort to calm her down. That's all it was. That sounds so much like the Deacon Jones. When you hit a man or a woman, it sounds like it's like that.
I just pictured the line from Airplane fixing that unruly passenger.
Yeah.
And people got brass knuckles and a baseball bat.
About to work him over.
Can't wait to get her out of hysterics.
If there's a situation where anyone, I'm going to say especially a woman, but just anyone, if they're mad at you and the situation is escalating, I'm going to go ahead and say a slap to the face is the last thing that's going to calm it down.
It's like pissing on an anthill.
I feel like you're what is that, a fire? I better put that out. What's this liquid? Lighter fluid? It's liquid. It should work. Just to calm it down.
Pour water on it. This'll do it.
This'll do. It's still liquid. It's clear. Fuck it. No problem. So he said that didn't work, obviously. No. So he said then the argument moved inside the house. This was like in the driveway she confronted him like, hey, motherfucker, he wasn't even in the door yet.
I've been inside. I saw your sneakers.
They did the shit like she was like Henry Hill's mother-in-law there with like we talked about a couple weeks ago. What kind of people stay out all night long? And he was just like, what the fuck? But rather than just turning around and get back in the car, he went inside and slapped his mother-in-law across the face to calm her down. Shut up, you old Jew broad. Pow. What the fuck,
that
man?
Ought to calm you down.
That ought to calm you down. What? What's the problem? Fucking assholes. So,
what? Now I'm the asshole? That's what you figure is going to come from this. Like, he's going to hit her, and then everybody's going to go, well, that wasn't the right thing to do. He's going to go, what are you talking about?
Calming her down.
Did my part.
So the argument moves inside the house. It's at this point where it's alleged that Rison picks her up, physically picks her up, and body slams her onto the bed, and then sat on her. So he slammed her on the bed and then sat on her like a child would do, like a fat older brother would do to a younger brother to say, you're not going to go get an ice cream sandwich. While the ice cream man's bells and fucking music went by the house. You sat on him and laughed on him. No, let me up. That's what he's doing, except in a horrible, abusive domestic violence way, not in a charming child sibling rivalry way.
Forcing your little brother to run to get it.
Yeah. So he slammed her onto the bed, sat on her, and what he called an effort to control her.
Yeah.
No. Leave the house if you want to control her because she's not going to be controlled. And quite frankly,
it's not your business.
You don't have to control her.
You don't
if she wants to get wild, let her get wild. That's her fucking business.
You don't get to control her. You call the police. If she breaks the law, they will control her.
So what he does, that doesn't calm her down. Okay, she's still mad. So what he does is he says, fuck it, and he leaves, which is what he should do at this point. He should leave, and if she's being super violent, if she was attacking him and he couldn't stop her, he should have called the fucking cops.
But also, if she doesn't live there, maybe you get her out too.
Yes, but I don't think she's leaving. I think she's going to fight the whole time.
Got it.
This is going to either end with him leaving or police coming into the house. One of the two ways. It's not going to end with her going, okay, I guess I'll go now. That shit ain't going down. So what she does, as anybody reasonable would do at this point, obviously, there's a lot of options here. You can call the cops. You can fucking leave. You can gather your shit and go. You can, I don't know what you do here because I'm not a woman
who's... You can go out to the pool, lay down.
Figure it out, have a glass of wine. She has a different approach to it. She gets a pair of his sneakers that the cause of the strife here and takes them to the bathtub and sets them on fire.
Okay. So the plan, I know how this goes.
Yes.
The source of the argument was the Air Force Ones. So in order
I will burn these fucking Air Force Ones in the
She
bathtub.
got on the phone with a friend and was like, that was her solution. That motherfucker gone, I'm going to phone a friend.
I feel like it was one of those, how dare he leave now after So it's like I was pissed at him, and now he left, so I'm going to get him back.
She called T-Boz, and T-Boz was like, listen, girl, here's what you do.
Yes, and
you
what
got
she
some
does
kerosene?
is set a pair of sneakers on fire in the bathtub.
And
now Andre Rison's brother is there Also, in the house while this is going on, Andre Rison's brother said that he saw her standing over this whirlpool bathtub, watching the flames grow higher and higher, and shouting, quote, "I don't care anymore."
Oh, my God.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Well, there's an uncontrolled in-home fire and someone screaming, "I don't care anymore." This is the start of a bad day.
It's about to go wrong.
Then she was like, okay, I got that going. I have time, though. This is burning. I got to do multitask.
Yeah.
Let me grab this vacuum cleaner pipe and go outside and bash in a couple of his windshields.
Well, she's got a shoe-ba-cue going on.
On two of his very expensive cars.
She's going to leave an uncontrolled burning.
Gone. That's fine.
While she goes and beats the shit out of his car.
I got to go break up the car now first. So that's the fire. It'll tend to itself up there. It's doing fine.
She's got like a bonus round of fucking Street Fighter going on now.
Just running down, do that, go back up. So before long, this is all happening. The whole mansion goes up in flames. Yeah. This is a 15,000 square foot house.
Oh my God!
15,000 square foot house that's meticulously furnished as well, because this guy is very narcissistic like that. Everything's perfect. She burnt this fucking thing to
try to get rid of some
rod
lavers.
And I'm talking about, if you've ever seen this shit, it is to the ground. There's like 5 toothpicks remaining of this entire mansion.
That's amazing.
It's insane. So the whole thing is burning. They say, though, that there might have been more than one pair of sneakers after that. She might have done all of that, because I guess it was just so much fire. Did
she just take the vacuum cleaner pipe and then throw the vacuum in too?
Yeah, no.
She's just burning everything?
So then Andre Rison had no fucking idea
that his house was on fire.
At all. He spent the morning at a teammate of his, Jason Phillips. He went over to his house, completely unaware of what the fuck happened. So then around 9 a.m., Jason's wife, Jason Phillips' wife, Jeanette, drove him home.
Yeah.
He said, quote, "There were all these fire trucks. I couldn't believe it. I just sat down and cried." I guess fucking so.
It's all gone.
He comes home to the biggest house fire you can possibly imagine. And it was on ESPN. It was goddamn insane. It was a huge 15,000 square feet of fire. It was crazy.
I'll bet he had cash in there, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
He had cash
somewhere. He said by the time he got home, there wasn't much of the way of like inside of the house left. The whole inside and the rest of it was burning. The next day, Lopez turns herself into Atlanta police. She was charged with felony arson.
I remember that mugshot.
Released on $75,000 bail. 5 days later, she went into rehab. Says she had a pretty bad alcohol problem, which I'm going to go ahead and agree with her.
Yeah.
I think that's an alcohol problem.
I think that's what killed her, matter of fact. It wasn't necessarily her behind the wheel.
No.
But they were passing a bottle. No, it was a joint. Was it a joint or a bottle? I don't remember.
Sure.
They're passing an illegal controlled substance around the vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's why it flipped.
Yeah, there's a problem there. Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But now he denies he ever abused her.
Really?
He said, "I never touched her," even though he said, "I slapped her to try to calm her down." He said, quote, "It hurts me because I'm not like that. We did everything together. Shopped, cooked, laughed, cried, went to nightclubs, parks, functions.
Fought.
It hurts me. Burned shit. Fired gunshots.
It hurts me. We didn't burn my house to the ground together."
Had a fist fight in aisle 6. We did everything together. No idea. So that night, he rode his motorcycle, because that's what he had left, because the other ones were burned, to the Falcons training camp, which was about 40 miles north of Atlanta. He says he thought briefly about swerving into an expressway median while he was on this trip. He said, "It was like I'd gone the full limit."
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was fucking distraught.
Yeah.
He's lost his girl, and now his house is burned to the fucking ground with all his shit in it.
This is awesome.
This is insane. She says Lopez in court insists that she wasn't trying to burn the house down.
Just shoes.
"I just want to set a pair of shoes on fire." And they said, "Yeah, a pair of sneakers in a whirlpool won't burn a mansion down. You did a little more than that." And also we have a witness that said, "You said, 'I don't care anymore,' as the flames started to engulf the room." It's not great.
Your parting phrase to go beat the fuck out of his Mercedes was, "I don't care.
I don't care anymore." So the judge says, "I do care," actually, as a matter of fact, and sentences her to live at a halfway house.
Is that right?
That's it. Halfway house, 5 years probation, and a $10,000 fine. That seems like a lot. The house was worth $1.5 million.
That's a
she gets a $10,000 fine.
That ain't nothing.
That's nothing. She got nothing, basically.
No.
Not a damn thing.
5 years probation sucks, though.
That sucks. But the strange thing is, afterwards, they're still together.
Yeah.
He does not break up with her, and she doesn't break up with him.
No.
Wow. June 27th, 1994. This is like a few weeks later. There's an interview with him, and he said the reporter said he still seems to be in a bit of shock about the whole thing. He says the only way he could imagine finding any peace would be going out to the 50-yard line, lying down, and waiting for the night. He says, then when it gets real quiet, I think I'd be able to hear her voice. I still love her, Like, he's given these weird, like, strange, like, fucking cryptic love shout-outs to her.
She burned down $1 million house, bro.
Yeah, like, wow.
She is terrible.
And he also denies ever abusing her in any way, which is fucking amazing. He said, I've cried a lot, but I can't say that I've shed one tear for the house. I can replace the house, but I can't replace the life I had or a certain girl. No.
How do you?
Wow.
I've got so many questions.
I have a lot of questions.
That's ridiculous. How do you say you can replace that house? Not many times, bro.
Not many
that
times
shit
over.
Is $1 million.
I know you probably had insurance, but still.
But you're not
that's
getting
all your shit too.
Right.
He said all he saved out of it was a handful of like footballs that he had, like game balls, like armful of footballs is all he got out of his house. That's it. Yeah, an armful.
Still smell like fucking bacon.
Dude,
those things. Anything
crazy.
that's been in a house fire,
it's ruined.
It smells forever. It's done.
Ruined. Yeah, you have to burn the house down.
Yeah.
To get rid of
house
it.
is over.
So 1994, after all this is going on, he's having a lot of problems. Why wouldn't you make him a youth spokesperson at that point? Obviously, that's what you do.
I mean, he has a lot of things to tell him to avoid.
And also the kids look up to him. He goes to Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School in downtown Atlanta. 917 children go there. They all live in the 5 housing projects that surround the school. It's not a good area. No. There are some tough kids that are going through some tough times, but Rison comes there to talk to these people. He was selected by Champ Sports, the large chain, as though it was the sponsor of the program, to award $10,000 in new athletic equipment to the Atlanta Middle School that produces the most positive billboard message for youth. And then Andre Rison is going there to present this to them.
Nice.
The winning slogans are believe, achieve, and succeed, and I am, I can, I will. So that's what they got.
That's the winners?
Those are the winners. It's middle school. What do you want? Now, Rison says, quote, I have children to raise, and when I see you, I see them. I didn't come to preach. I came to talk to you and for you to talk to me. The youth of our society are going through a storm right now. Look around you. A lot of people sitting next to you won't see in a few years. I see all the designer clothes some of you are wearing. I didn't have that growing up, but I had a grandmother and a grandfather who taught me 3 things. Respect your elders, love one another, and try to be a better person every day. There is time to play and time to work. I just don't show up on the field. I do my homework, and you have to do yours.
So cliche.
So cliche. He just showed up with a book of cliches.
Yeah. What can I read that will approach you guys and meet you where you need to be?
I think I will try to relate to you now. So later on, though, like a week later, the word is that when he's a free agent, there's a lot of NFL general managers that don't want any part of him.
Somebody interrupted that speech when he goes, I look at y'all, and some of y'all won't be here tomorrow. What's that? Oh, don't tell them they're going to die. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's not a good thing.
Cliches. Ready, y'all?
Y'all ever see a house fire? Why did we make him Southern? He's from Flint, Michigan. Yes. We made him Southern. Wow.
Oh, don't tell them that they're going to die?
Yeah. So he says, though, they said general managers don't want him. Apparently, there's a lot of them in the league. Like, I wouldn't touch that guy with a 10-foot pole. He laughs about it. He says, quote, I've really got those people fooled. They think I'm Rambo. I got people here shook up. Some reporters walk up to me and they're scared. It's like I'm a modern day underground activist. What the fuck are you talking about? He says, there's so much I see going on here that I don't say a word about, but sometimes I'm just going to comment about what's wrong and what's right. I've spent the last 6 years and even before that in college trying to prove myself as a player. It's been a struggle, hard work. I've done it. Now I've got to spend the next few years proving myself as a person, proving my character. There will always be something out there for me to justify, but I will win at this too.
Okay.
So what does that say? I'm good now.
Yeah.
It's fine. Fine. Now, he is good on the field. Before this season starts, he has caught more passes in his first 5 years of his NFL career than any other receiver.
Is that right?
Ever. More than Jerry Rice, more than Sterling Sharp. He had 50 more catches than Jerry Rice in his first 5 years. Is it still today? I don't know about now.
It might be.
That's that. It might be. By this time, the quarterback that he was traded for there in the draft, Jeff George, is now on the Falcons. So that's how long that lasted. He says, quote, right now, he's the best receiver in the NFL. He has the hands, the moves, the determination. He also has a child support suit, a paternity suit. And he's been several violations of gun laws and everything else.
And he's also in the middle of a new build of his house.
That's the other problem. He says, quote, sure, I have problems. Obviously, but I'll be damned if I'm the only guy that has a child. I have problems. The problems are solved. I'm not the only person to have problems. Stop talking about me with fucking problems, is what he said. How dare you?
He had a lot of problems. My problems ain't your problems. Leave my problems out of this.
Jeff George says, quote, he's not the bad guy everybody thinks he is. I've gotten to be good friends with him, and I just don't see that he is a bad person.
Yeah, he's your number one receiver. And you don't give a fuck what he does.
By the way, Jeff George is known as one of the biggest assholes to ever be in the NFL. He literally is. The most hated people by everyone he's ever played with around. He's a piece of shit. So that tells you a lot. So 1994, Falcons again, October 94, Deion Sanders and Andre Rison were fined $7,500 each because they slapped and punched each other while they were being covered because Deion moved to San Francisco. They're playing against each other, and they had a slap fight. I remember this. They basically just boxed each other's ears with helmets on.
So they left their hats on?
Yeah, it was just
what are they doing that
It was the stupidest thing you ever wanted to see.
That was my favorite fight is with Andre Johnson and that little fucking rat shit fuck from Tennessee. Johnson ripped his helmet. Finnegan. Cortland Finnegan. Andre ripped his helmet off so that he could punch him. Like that's the move. You take the helmet off and you drill the guy in the fucking mouth.
Or you grab him by the face mask and pull him to the ground and then punch him in the kidneys. One or the two. This was literally two grown men slapping each other on the side of helmets and face masks.
So dumb.
No one was getting hurt.
No.
But they're still both fined $7,500 by the NFL.
Because that looks bad to the kids.
It looked terrible to the kids. Don't do that in front of kids. Kids should know how to fight like fucking...
like men.
Like real people who know how to fight. Men, women, fuck, somebody. Fucking get Mandy Malone in there to show them a thing or two, because this is terrible.
Fight like adults, you pussies.
If Andre Rison jumped up and gave him like a spinning kick to the head, Malone style, I would have fucking loved that fight. That would have been great. That would have been awesome. Pow! Would have been like, holy shit.
Where did that come from?
That's amazing. Team goes 7-9 that year. New coach, June Jones, who also doesn't really do too much for them. He's suspended the November 20th game against Denver because he was late to team meetings 19 times. Which is not okay. But of those 19 times, 16 times occurred during training camp, which was the time that his house was burnt down.
Okay.
So they gave him a little bit of a pass because he was having some trouble.
Longer.
He had a little bit of an issue
that extended stay is a few miles down the road.
Yeah, they said he was never late to his offensive team meetings, but to the overall team meetings and the special teams gatherings. He said he was not part of special teams. Why the fuck should I be there? So they sat him out. They were like, well, we told you to be here. That's why. He said publicly he didn't care what happened, but then he also said that he watched the game at home and he was pissed off that the announcers were talking shit at him. He said, quote, it was take a shot at Andre Rison day. It's been take a shot at Andre Rison year. Burn my house down, why don't you? Cocksuckers. So, not thrilled.
Sometimes I do wish that I could sit next to the player that they are just bashing horrendously.
While he's pissed.
Yeah. And just watch him stew.
That's fucking
Especially
great.
Ones that are injured sitting at home.
Oh, yeah.
So, suspended.
1994, he does the first year he doesn't make the Pro Bowl since his rookie year. 15 games, 14 started, 81 receptions, 1,088 yards, 13.4 yards per catch, 8 touchdowns. That's still a real good productive year, so that's not bad. He makes $797,589.
That's nice.
So even not focused, he can still do it. March 25th, 1995, he signs with the Browns.
Oh, my God. He went there?
Yeah, 5-year deal with the Browns he signs. 5-year, $17 million contract with the Browns.
That's a good one.
Which at that time was the most lucrative contract for a wide receiver in history. More than Jerry Rice, more than everybody. He was the highest paid receiver.
At $17 million?
$17 million. That's
over
the
5
difference
years.
of football then and now.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, right? Of course, they didn't have the DirecTV package to sell and all that shit either. So by now, obviously, and this is clear, by now he has a 40-person entourage.
Jesus.
40 people he comes into places with.
He drags 40 people around with him?
40-person entourage.
Oh, my God.
Now he's got big money in the bank. He really thinks he's hot shit. He's dating a pop star.
Yeah.
He thinks he's hot shit. He says that Muhammad Ali and his bravado style are his biggest inspiration.
Oh, Jesus.
And he still says he believes he could play ball on the pro level. Mm-hmm. And he says he's starting his own recording label. So
of course. Not for nothing. We don't have Andre Rison money.
No.
But anytime that we do a live show and we go to some bar afterwards, we got 40 people there.
Yeah. No, but we didn't bring them to the live show. They were our friends that we brought to hang out at the live. That's what he's doing. We have to earn our entourage. Right. They're not an entourage at that point. They're just people that we're friends with that like us, that like our show, and we talked to for a while, and then had some drinks with. They're not an entourage.
That's my
we all
entourage.
go our separate way at the end of the night.
That's my version of a $2 million entourage.
They're just some friends that we've made. We have it in their own word about how he likes himself. Yeah. He says, in their own words, quote, "I like what I've become. I'm not finished with what I will be. I'm going to have a new CD come out soon, and I'm going to tell all. It's going to have my truest feelings, starting with my family, because my family affects me in the most emotional way, more than anything else could. I'm not afraid to be vocal, and I'm not afraid to be right. And I know I'm not always right, but I'm always for real." Okay. So, CD title coming out, 9 Lives, he says.
Get out of here.
The CD never comes out. This is his second announced CD that never comes out, ever.
The other one was Essence?
Yeah, Embrace.
Embrace.
Never came out. That was the group name, was Embrace. Right. This is 9 Lives is the title of his CD, but never fucking comes out. Rison. Yeah, that's that there.
And now back to the show.
He spent so much money at strip clubs and shit, too. Here's another quote.
Well, he's in Cleveland.
Yeah, quote, "We were going to new levels. We were making it snow. You start by throwing $100 bills instead of 5s. Start.
Holy shit.
He was saying in this interview, he's like, yeah, they had people make it rain. We made it snow. That's hundreds. I was like, that's
too much.
That's insanity.
That's stupid.
That's just stupid. That's just throwing money in the garbage. Cleveland 95. They go 5-11.
No offense, strippers.
Yeah, sorry, strippers. That's not your fault. No. We're making fun of him, not you. You're smart for taking his hundreds of dollars.
You're brilliant for taking it.
So Cleveland 95. They go 5-11 because they're Cleveland. Right. That's what they do. That's Coach Bill Belichick there.
No shit.
Oh yeah, that is the Belichick Browns.
Was that his first season as a head coach?
I don't think so, because then he went back. Then he went on to be like the co-coach of the Jets with Bill Parcells, while Parcells was kind of suspended.
Or was he like...
he was co for a minute, and then he ended up... They said that they were going to give him the job, but Parcells was going to be like his boss and sort of part coach, and
that's the start of all the Parcells.
And then he just left, and then he went to New England, and the rest is history. So that year, though, 95, Rison plays in 16 games, starts 14, has 47 receptions for 701 yards and 14.9 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
So a lot less production, but he makes $5,578,000 that year.
Cleveland.
Wow. Which buys you most of Cleveland.
That's his first year in Cleveland?
That's his first, because that's the signing bonus for the contract is included in that. So. Now, after the season, the Browns are moving to Baltimore. That's their last year in Cleveland. Okay. The Cleveland Browns that are there now are our new Cleveland Browns. Right. This Cleveland Browns is the Baltimore Ravens.
Art Modell, right?
Yes, exactly, in the middle of the night.
Right. So pack them all up. Don't say shit,
let's go
you guys.
Out. So, and this is what the Ursays did with Baltimore, too. They snuck out in the middle of the night, and then these guys snuck back in. So, he was mad at the fans who were pissed off at that they would be relocating, so their fans were booing Cleveland, which I don't blame them. You guys are fucking leaving.
So,
He was pissed off. about this. Rison said after they lost to the Packers, Rison had been being booed throughout the game. After the game, he said, quote, "We didn't make the fucking move, so for all the booers, fuck you too. I'll be glad when we get to Baltimore. If that's the case, we don't have any home field advantage. I've never been booed at home. Baltimore's our home. Baltimore, here we come."
Oh, boy.
So he said, fuck you too to all the booers. He's not happy. Fuck Cleveland.
I do now remember him in a Browns uniform after that quote. I remember him saying that.
He leaves driving to Baltimore with his middle finger out the window of his
128
smashed
miles
windshield Mercedes going 128 miles an hour with a trunk full of sneakers. So
and that's all he's got. He's like, this move's going to be easy for me.
Yeah.
I got one car and a trailer for my motorcycle.
That's it, and 5 footballs.
Right.
So July 9th, 1996, though, Baltimore says they can't afford him. With this move and all this shit's too. We can't afford you with your signing bonus.
Can't afford him.
Sorry, they cut him. So he's released by Baltimore.
Oh, shit.
He's released. He's still going to get signed. A week later, July 16th, he signs with Jacksonville. Remember that?
My Christ, I don't.
I didn't remember that at all. July 27th, 96, he's just started with Jacksonville, and he says he wants his jersey, his number 80 jersey with Jacksonville. He says there's Willie Jackson is a second-year receiver who currently wears it. And Rison says, quote, "Eventually I'm going to get it, even if Willie and I have to go tussle in the room after curfew. I offered him some money. We're still negotiating." So
that is my favorite thing about the NFL.
That guys want their numbers.
Yeah,
I love that, too.
There is a kicker, the kicker for the Giants.
Yeah.
I forget his name. God damn it. He doesn't play for him now. Maybe it was Feely. I think it was Feely.
Numbers are important, man.
He paid, or he got, because he picks a number that people like.
Yeah.
I think it was 80 or 11, something like that.
No, that's Phil Simms. That's retired on the Giants.
10?
You can't have that.
I don't know what
That's
it is.
Eli.
Ah, fuck.
So,
it's a number. 17. It's 17.
Okay.
Because I think Plaxico Burress bought it from him.
Was he wearing 17?
I think so.
Or 11?
Or 14 or some shit like that.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Point is, he would sell
18.
these numbers. That was the number.
Okay.
That's it. And the guy got, Feely had so much
10.
shit.
Burris is 10.
Is he 10?
I think he's
Eli's
10.
10, isn't he?
No, you're right. Eli's 10. I'm an idiot. Why'd I say 10? Like, that's not. Second
It's
I said,
a
I was like,
team
that's
number.
Not. Either way, he sells the fucking number.
Sells the number. He had a fucking outdoor barbecue set, like an outdoor kitchen built at his house. He had a fucking paid vacation. These people pay like $50,000 just to get the jersey off of somebody else's back.
And it's weird because it's like that's how it is in football. They don't give a fuck. But like in baseball, it's a lot different. It's like a respect thing in baseball too. Like Rod Beck, my friend, he went to the Red Sox. When he showed up at the Red Sox, Jason Varitek was wearing 47, which is Rod's chosen number. He wore it on the Giants and the Cubs before that. Varitek walked up to him, because this is what catchers do, because they want their pitchers to be comfortable, and they don't give a fuck. He said, "Hey, this is yours, man. 47's all you, buddy.
Welcome to the team."
He said, "Dude, I don't need it, man. That's your number, brother. It's all you." Like,
that's nice.
Didn't have to ask for it. He came. First thing he said was, "Hey, man, you got my number. It's all yours, brother. I'll change numbers.
I'll figure it out."
That's how they are in baseball. That's fucking really nice.
But in football, they're like, "How much money you got?"
Yeah. Well, he said he offered him money. They're negotiating, and Rison has a number 80 tattoo on his left arm, so he really wants to get that.
You don't want to wear number 81 with that shit.
And he does end up being 84 for the most part for the rest of his career, which is pretty funny.
That's awesome.
So that year with Jacksonville, he has some problems. There's some issues with Jacksonville. He ends up leaving Jacksonville. He only plays 10 games for them, which is kind of,
whatever,
typical for that. 34 receptions, 458 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He went from Cleveland to Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's bad. And then from there, if those two cities weren't bad enough, he then signs with the Packers on November 19th. So now he's going to rural Wisconsin. Enjoy that. So that's November 19th. He signed with the Packers. So that's in the middle of a year. He's released by the Jaguars, and then the next week signed by the Packers.
I don't remember either of that.
I remember the Packers only because he scored the first touchdown of the Super Bowl that year.
Okay.
He had a touchdown reception, like a 50-yard touchdown reception. Was the first points of that year's Super Bowl when the Packers beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl that year.
Right.
That's the only reason I rember it was from that Super Bowl footage.
Did he
highlights.
Stay there more than 1 year?
Nope.
Okay.
That's it. He was there. He played 5 regular season games for the Packers and still does a lot of Packer things. Now, that's the 19th of November. The November 26th, the NFL Jams album comes out.
Oh,
okay.
geez.
This is musicians and rappers and such with NFL players doing songs together. This is fucking terrible. Let's just do the track list, shall we? These are always fun. Richie Rich with Esra Tuaolo, which I think is an offensive lineman. Ray Buchanan and Scott Galbraith with AZ, the rapper AZ. Got it. With Ray Buchanan, the prostitute getting busted for prostitutes before the Super Bowl, Atlanta Falcon. Ricky Waters and Method Man.
What?
Ricky Waters, the running back.
That's awesome.
For the Eagles and Niners for a long time.
I want to hear that.
Channel Live and Corey Harris.
No idea.
Spark and Madism, I guess. I don't fucking know. Ghostface Killer and Andre Rison. I give up. I fucking give up.
How did they get the Wu-Tang Clan in on this?
They got Method Man and fucking Ghostface Killer. If I see fucking Dan Marino and Raekwon, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. This isn't happening. What we have here.
This is fucking great.
Master Killer and Lawrence Phillips together. So
Richard Dent and Inspector Deck.
Yeah, that's the one right there. So, wow.
Fucking incredible.
Donnell Jones and Robert Brooks. By the way, Fast Life is the name of the Ghostface Killer Andre Rison track.
Incredible.
Fife Dog and Rodney Hampton, the old
awesome.
New York Giants running back.
Good for him.
Selly Sell and William Floyd.
Ooh, I'm sure that was gangster.
Havoc from Mobb Deep and Tyrone Wheatley. What the fuck? The Far Side and Rahib Rocket Ishmael together.
That's the worst track on the album.
Oh, my God. That is amazing right there. That is amazing.
Yeah, Rocket Ishmael.
That's fucking awesome. So, Green Bay wins the Super Bowl.
Who paired that shit?
That's what I'm saying.
Who
the
did
fuck
that?
paired that shit? I mean, Tyrone Wheatley played for the Giants and Havoc's a New York rapper.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that's a part of it. I don't know.
But how do you...
Regionally, if you pair it up?
How do you talk professional, like serious rappers into that shit? How do you do that?
I have no clue.
And how did this not tank every single one of those fucks' careers?
That was 96, man. Wu-Tang was riding high. They didn't give a fuck. They were like,
I just don't understand how anybody would be like, I cannot wait for the Chambers. I cannot wait.
So the Packers win the Super Bowl. Rison gets a ring.
Yeah.
They beat the Patriots. He makes $2 million that year. That's not
great.
bad. April of 97, he's arrested and charged with disorderly conduct in Lawrenceville, Georgia, after refusing to get out of his car.
Why is he in Georgia?
That's where he has houses down there.
Why are you going back home?
He refuses to get out of his car after a traffic stop, and he's released after paying a fine.
Out of Georgia. You don't even work there.
Nope. And now he works even farther. Well, not farther than Green Bay, but June 19th, 97, he signs with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Now, about money, he has a quote here. He says, quote, "When you have cash, you create debt. You spend until you've got nothing left. I should have saved a lot more money. I should have saved a lot more money." Yeah, when you have cash, you don't create debt. You only do that when you spend more cash than you have.
Say that quote again.
That's
that quote all over again. It's so good.
When you have cash, you create debt.
Yeah.
You spend until you've got nothing left.
Yeah.
I should have saved a lot more money. I should have saved a lot more money.
It's the last part?
It's the last one.
Where he goes, I should have saved a lot more money.
That's where it really...
Oh.
I should have saved a lot more money. That's when it
saved a lot more
should have
money.
saved a lot more money.
It's set in right there.
When you have cash, you create debt.
Yeah.
If you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yes, if you spend more, you can if you want on purpose as a business thing. But
the thing is, when you have cash, no, you don't create debt because you pay for that with your cash.
He says,
you dumb fuck.
he told he would buy multiple cars within a season to compete with teammates. See, that's the thing. They compete with each other.
That's what you did
that's
wrong.
It's so much ego of I need them to see this and I need them to see that. And he would spend, like we said, nightclubs. He's making it snow.
Douchebag.
You're going out spending $10,000 at a nightclub. That's what happens. Now let's find out what he does here. Well, let's do it in their own words about this. In their own words, quote, "Now all of a sudden you've got this bank account you control. You can go to it, pull out any time, put in any time. But at the time, we were only pulling out." He says, "I guarantee I spent $1 million on jewelry. We were draped in jewelry. How much is this car? It doesn't matter. Just get it. I'd be lying on the bed knocked out after getting back from the club with $10,000 lying on the floor. I've got another $5,000 in my pocket. You might find another $7,500 in the pocket of my coat."
What a dummy.
So he's just pulling mass amounts of cash out, just pulling $20 20 grand in cash out just to have on him so he could flash it.
I wish I had that problem because I would be that asshole that would make that money and then go right to a financial guy and be like, what stocks can I buy?
Yeah.
Right fucking now.
Well, I don't trust stocks, so I wouldn't say that.
Fucking,
but
whatever
like,
I'm investing
how
it
can
in.
I not have this?
How can this not go away? I don't want to hold this. I
No.
can't keep this.
I don't mind keeping it. I'm just not going to spend it.
I want it I want the money to make money rather than me have to go bash my head
I don't trust the
in.
money to make money because I know what happens. The money goes out and makes money, and then it gets fucking money AIDS, and then it comes back all dead. That's what happens. Ask everybody who had any money invested in, I don't know, 2007 or 8.
Yeah, that's true.
How much did that work out for them? Fuck, they'd have been better off fucking throwing it at strippers. At least they would have had fun.
But everybody knew that shit was going to explode. You know what I mean?
They didn't at the time. But right now it's about to pop. Does everybody, are people paranoid and freaking out and squirreling their money away? No, they're going, woo! They're making it fucking snow. It's the same thing. We're all fucking morons.
I don't know about buying jewelry, though. You know what I mean?
But people are, when things are going good, they can never be anything but good. When things are going bad, they can never be anything but bad. We're all stupid. So
we are stupid. And we don't realize that shit is cyclical. We just think, all those are all done
forever.
now. We'll just keep
We
going through
figured
this.
that out. That's good. Fuck. Now, the Chiefs this year, Kansas City, they do great. Yeah. Marty Schottenheimer's the coach. He's 13-3 this year.
That furious motherfucker.
That furious goddamn bastard.
He's pissed about that 13-3,
too. Sons of bitches. Well, he should be pissed because they had the bye week and everything, and then they lose to the Broncos 14-10 at home in the divisional round.
That's what
Not
happens.
thrilled at all there. Andre on the field returns to form a little bit. He makes the Pro Bowl again this year for the first time since 93. He has 72 receptions for 1,092 yards, 15.2 per reception, and 7 touchdowns.
Okay.
That's back to Andre Rison standards.
The Chiefs can calm down about that loss, though, because Denver went on and won.
Yeah,
so
it was exactly.
Right.
Relax, it's
you
fine.
lost to the champions.
Yeah, you did that year.
Right.
Yeah, they beat the Packers. So he makes the Pro Bowl. Makes the Pro Bowl that year. Falcons. What did I say? Packers and then
Packers
the
and
Falcons.
Falcons. Right. Back to back.
I had them backwards that year, and I'm like, no. Packers went 2 years in a row.
They had to earn the first one, then the second one was a gimme.
Yeah.
The second one was depressing for Atlanta.
Definitely. So he makes $900,000 this year. The Chiefs are so happy with him. On June 5th, 1998, they sign a 4-year extension with him.
How about that?
So they're thrilled with him after coming back. It's at this time where Jason Whitlock, you know who he is, Jay Whitlock, the Pardon the Interruption guy. Yeah. He's a smart dude, Jay Whitlock. That's who I want to see. You know what? You want to sit Skip Bayless in a fucking room with a guy? Sit him down with Jay Whitlock and let Jay Whitlock fucking run circles around. I'm sure he's filled in from time to time.
Probably.
Like, where's a black guy?
Right.
Skip needs a black guy to argue with. No, he won't do. He only argues with black people. You don't understand. That's his only thing that he'll do.
Right.
Argue with black people and drive James insane. So Andre threatens to kill Jay Whitlock at one point now. So Jay Whitlock, by the way, is a big motherfucker. Yeah. He's a big guy. Used to play offensive line in college football. He's a big guy. He's not some little squirrely reporter that you can push around.
He threatens to kill him.
Yeah, Jay Whitlock said, he's given an interview later on, and he says, quote, "But the only guy who has come close to threatening me with death was Andre Rison. He did it in a subtle way. It was around 1997 or 1998 after Andre had turned from Bad Moon to Spider-Man." And then he says, yeah, when Andre played for the Chiefs, he called himself Spider-Man. "I'd never written anything all that bad about Rison, but Chiefs public relations director Bob Moore had convinced Rison that I hated him and wrote all kinds of terrible things about him in the paper. Rison wasn't much for reading the newspaper himself. He relied on the word of mouth. Well, me and Rison are backstage at a Derek Thomas golf tournament party. Rison walks up to me and whispers, quote, "You know, I ain't going to be in the league forever. And when I get out, me and you going to settle this the way they settle things in the streets."
Oh, my God.
That's what he tells him. So, like, you don't tell a fucking reporter that.
He told
That's
the guy.
insanity. And whispered it.
Yeah.
He didn't yell it.
Right.
He whispered. He said, "We're going to settle this shit like we did." That's fucking frightening. From a guy who fires gunshots into a Kroger grocery store wall.
That's like shit that people say in Gen Pop when they're like, when we get out together.
I know we can't do it because the guards are right there. Motherfucking Screws is looking for us. Second we get out in that motherfucking yard, I'm going to cut you from dick to throat, motherfucker.
When we
That's
out,
what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it in here because it's going to
shit.
extend my sentence.
That's
but
right.
if we get out together,
oh, baby.
boy, it's on.
So he appears in 2 episodes of Arliss that year as well. The
really?
HBO television show
that was a good
with
show.
Robert Wall. It was kind of funny. Yeah. 1998, he's with KC again. October 98, E-Music presents NFL Jams album comes out. A new one. Oh, baby. These are crazy. Next with Curtis Conway does a track. Latasha Scott and Ray Buchanan. 8-Ball and Andre Rison.
What? He got 8-Ball from MJG?
No, 8-Ball and Andre Rison do a track
broke
together.
Broke him apart from MJG to put Andre Rison next to him?
Do What a Playa Do. That's the name of the song. Also, Destiny's Child and William Floyd. What the fuck is that? Why not put him with them? What is happening?
What is going on?
He's got TLC. Why not?
Right.
Also, that's not enough. He's on a second track on this fucking album.
He got a second one.
He's the only player with a second track, and that second... Oh, God, some of these, by the way, you're going to laugh your ass off. But second track, him and Foxy Brown doing a track called, quote, Burning Down the House. Just amazing.
What?
Fucking amazing. Yes. Burning Down the House. Wink, wink.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God.
How did they...
Dude, I'm here with you.
Who did that and why?
I am here with
that
you,
is
man.
Fucking great.
Oh, my God. Some other tracks. Boys to Men and Garrison Hurst.
What?
Makes no fucking sense.
They wrote that song, did not tell him what the title was.
No.
I see stars right now.
No, it's
Holy shit,
it's hilarious. They Oh, my God.
That's so good.
The Quad City DJs with a bunch of guys I've never heard of. Now, here's the track you're going to laugh at. DJ Hurricane, who is like Beastie Boys DJ.
Gotcha.
Hurricane, got clout,
Right.
other DJs. Okay, that's... Okay. Okay. DJ Hurricane with Danny Cannell and Kerry Collins.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's exactly who I...
Fuck you.
Why is Kerry Collins on the album at all?
You goofy-looking fuck. At least Kerry Collins was decent. Danny Cannell's the worst goddamn quarterback I ever fucking saw. When he played for the Giants, he'd make me wish for Kent Graham to come into the game. Fuck you.
That's fucking incredible.
Oh, my God. Also, Faith Evans and Jeff Blake, the ex...
Why is Jeff Blake... What
the quarterback for the Bengals there. Jizza, genius from Wu-Tang, again, another one. Jizza with Esra Tualo again.
Okay.
And Escape, I remember that.
Yeah.
Escape with Michael Strahan.
Really?
Okay.
I guess that makes sense. He's really good with the ladies.
And finally, Johnny Gill and Corey Harris, the defensive back. I have no fucking idea.
How does they got Johnny Gill in on this
I don't know what is going on. I've never heard an album with the Jizza and Johnny Gill in the same fucking album, first of all. No.
This is so good.
Wow. Fuck. That was around the time, too. Oh, it's a little after that. Jizza's solo album came out in 96.
I'm gonna Google all of that. I can't wait
to listen
to
there's videos.
There's videos,
there's
so
audio
bad.
tracks. Oh, they're
so
terrible.
bad.
I listen to a lot of them. They're
Really?
awful. What do you think I was doing while I was doing this? Well, might as well put that track on. So the Chiefs go 7-9 that year with Schottenheimer at the helm. That is 98. And Rison, by the way, since he wanted his number 80 so bad, he did get his number 80 in Cleveland, but not anywhere else. In Jacksonville, he wore 81. Green Bay, 84. Kansas City, 89.
Okay.
So he still hasn't gotten his fucking
not
80
getting
yet.
it back.
Anyway.
By the way, is that Young? Is Young the quarterback of the Chiefs then?
Chiefs in 94,
98?
98. Oh, God, that was probably the Elvis Gerback.
Yeesh.
And then,
that's depressing.
Steve Bono was there, too, at that time.
Yeah.
I think that was the Elvis Gerback era.
That's the shitty era.
That's the shit,
really bad Chiefs football.
They were good the year before, and then the next year, obviously, 7-9. That year, he plays in 14 games. He has 40 catches, 542 yards, 13.6 per reception, and 5 touchdowns. So production's dipped a little bit. Pay hasn't dipped that much. $2,450,000 for that year. Not too shabby.
He's doing great.
1999 comes around. October 30th, 1999. Rison is one of 6 people arrested early Saturday morning for fighting outside a Kansas City nightclub called Have a Nice Day Cafe.
Oh, boy.
Yes. He's out there.
It's a perfect place to be fighting.
That's perfect. Have a nice day, punch.
Right.
Several security guards detained people before police made the arrests. It was just a big melee, apparently. They the cops had no real, just a bunch of people fighting outside of a nightclub. The Kansas City Chiefs team president Carl Peterson said, quote, the Kansas City Chiefs consider such behavior to constitute conduct unbecoming of a player and not keeping with team policies. This was the day after the Chiefs spokesman, Bob Moore, said he had no information about the incident and it would be a personal matter involving an individual and not the team, and that team policy is not to comment. Next day, the other guy comes out and said, unbecoming of a player. Fuck him. Now, the worst part of that is just earlier that night, the Chiefs' reserve tight end Lonnie Johnson at 8 p.m. that night was arrested for propositioning a policewoman who was posing as a prostitute.
Perfect.
And also assaulting her.
How's that?
So that's nice.
Is that unbecoming also?
I think that's also unbecoming. He's arrested just after 8. Undercover officers were operating a prostitution sting. He stopped his car near a officer posed as a lady of the evening, and she approached him and started talking to him. It's at that point that apparently Johnson reached over and grabbed the officer, so he was arrested for assault as well.
Yeah.
So he's like, let me grab your tit. And then they said, how about we arrest you, you fucking idiot.
Roll your hands out here. Let me put these bracelets on.
Let me slap that on you. Both players released on bail. That year, 9-7 the Chiefs are. So again, that's after Schottenheimer left. Gunther Cunningham, that drip is fucking coaching there. 1999, he again not the greatest year. Again, only 21 receptions this year. He played in 15 games too.
No excuses.
218 yards, 10.4 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns.
None.
And he made $2,450,000.
He made $2 million for scoring the exact same amount of touchdowns as I scored last year.
Yeah, same thing. And that year and every year of your life. Yeah. Exactly. January 2000 at the Grammy Awards, Left Eye is there.
Of course she is.
And she says, quote, me and Andre just have a bond that no one will understand. Sometimes even I don't. Yeah, no shit. He hits you, shoots at you, you burn his house down, and then you get together the next day. What the fuck is happening? Wow.
We have a bond that nobody will understand.
What a fucking
Sometimes
mess.
I don't understand it. Sometimes.
Even me. Sometimes I don't even understand it.
You know those times when you can understand it? When you do understand it, call me and let me know what makes you burn a fucking house down.
One time in particular, I was really a little, just my comprehension was a little off, as I was watching a 15,000 square foot mansion burn to the fucking ground. And I said, I don't understand this.
I really could use some understanding.
I get why no one understands this now. So that was January. February 17th, 2000, Andre's arrested.
Okay.
He's arrested at his home in Leawood in Georgia there. He is taken on a charge of felony theft to the Johnson County Jail.
That's not good.
He's released after posting a $2,000 bond. Charges were filed here. They allege that Rison rented electronic equipment from Guitar World in Overland Park in the previous September and never paid for it. He allegedly took a recorder and cassettes that have yet to be returned. The equipment's worth more than $500, making the offense a felony.
Oh, no.
If convicted, he could face 6 to 18 years in jail.
18 years over some cassettes and a
fucking
recorder.
Guitar Center. Yeah, wow. The owner of Guitar World, Fred Nielsen, told the newspaper that company did not demand a credit card because Rison's a celebrity. And they knew who he was. So they were like, oh, he's good for it. Rison denies the charge. He says, quote, it was somebody else. They elected not to return it, so they had to come up with me. That's what he said. Somebody else rented it, brought it back, and they just said, well, we need to get our money back. Let's blame Andre. He'll pay us. That's his excuse for the whole thing.
They've seen me on TV, so they picked me out of thin air.
Yes, fucking unreal, man. So the Chiefs director of player personnel or player development, Lamont Winston, said, quote, I'm sure it'll get resolved. The people at Guitar World will be satisfied. I'm sorry it's had to come to this. That's a silver-haired statement right there. Yeah. People, we'll smooth it over with Guitar World. Don't worry,
guys. We're on the case. We'll get it figured out. Fuck,
it's at the same time that a mortgage foreclosure lawsuit on Rison's home in Leawood was filed January 28th. The lawsuit alleges Rison owes $448,045.17 of the $456,000 loan he took out in September.
He paid $8,000.
He's paid $8,000 from September to January.
Sounds like he's out of money.
Sounds like he's not doing well on money.
He's running low.
Also, October 30th, he is arrested on a disturbing the peace charge following a fight. for that. The charges are later dropped on that, but it still happened there. So he's just going through a mess of a time. So, yeah, that's as silver as you get, though. I'm sure the people of Guitar World will be satisfied.
Life is spinning out of control right now.
Oh, it's a fucking mess, man. So March 22nd, 2000, he settles the dispute with Guitar World.
Yeah.
And he's seeking an agreement that would dismiss the theft charge against him. His attorney says that he would apply for a diversion agreement, which dismisses the charge against him if restitution is paid. He's given the store clerk a $1,053 check for that. He pleads no contest. In the end, they do not dismiss the charge.
What kind of recorder was this thing?
Very expensive.
$1,053.
Ridiculous.
For a few cassettes.
And it was only valued at $500, too, which I don't know if that's the rental charge up to that point. He pleads no contest because they don't drop the charge, and he gets 1 year of probation.
They didn't drop the charge and he paid it?
Fuck you. He paid it.
My fuck.
And they gave him a year of probation.
Jesus.
August 7th, 2000, he is cited for obstructing a police officer by giving false information. He identified himself to a police officer as Brock Middlebrook, which he does not look like a Brock Middlebrook.
No.
Officer Brock Middlebrook. They're like, really, Andre Rison? You're the guy who that lady burned his fucking mansion down? I know who you are. He's fined $219.50 for this little
and
thing.
50 cents.
And 50 cents.
Right, they got to put that in.
August 14th, 2000, a week later, he is cut by Kansas City in training camp. So August 20th, 2000, he signs a 1 year deal with, you remember?
No.
The Raiders.
Really?
The Raiders.
He went to the Raiders?
1 year deal with the Raiders. August 24th, 4 days later, by the way, after he signed.
In Oakland.
He is charged with passing bad checks totaling $158,000 to a single Georgia jewelry store.
Oh, my God.
While he was with the Chiefs.
He's writing checks
to jewelry
checks.
Stores. Bad checks. He signed. This was right after he signed with the Raiders. The incidents took place between June 1998 and December 1998 while he was with the Chiefs. He could face 5 years in prison for this. I love how he faces less time for $158,000 worth of bad checks than he faced for a $500 tape recorder from fucking Guitar World. What is happening?
What the hell is that? $150,000 of bad checks.
That's insane.
5 years.
158. The prosecutors haven't been able to arrest him yet. They hope that he'll surrender when he comes to Kansas next month and for the trial on the theft charges, the other theft charges. There was no immediate plans to arrest him in California because they didn't want to extradite him. That's a huge pain in the ass. They're like, he'll be here eventually. They said this warrant covers Kansas and Missouri. Normally, you open a warrant nationwide, but if he's arrested in California, the taxpayers of Missouri would have to pay to transport him back here.
Got it.
Which makes sense.
Trying to save money.
Yeah, the checks were all written to the same jewelry store. The store said the store owner said he bought jewelry from him on 6 different occasions. 6 occasions, and these charges cover 4 of these occasions.
And every check was bad.
All bad checks. He pleads guilty eventually and receives 2 years of probation and pays restitution. So that's his punishment there. So he's in Oakland in 2000.
Yeah.
He says, quote, this is amazing, quote, I always liked the Raiders. Whenever we played Nintendo, I was the Raiders. I always wanted to be the quarterback. What's his name? Harmonica. No, it's LaMonica, but he wanted to be Harmonica.
Harmonica.
I wanted to be that quarterback. What's his name? Harmonica. Yeah, that's his name. Harmonica, you fucking moron. So he always liked the Raiders.
What a dipshit.
Jesus Christ. I'm just shrugging my shoulders at this point.
He is a dipshit.
He's a dipshit.
He likes the people that win. That's what he likes.
That's what he likes.
He's one of those dickheads.
Yeah.
Why do you like the Raiders? You've never lived in California.
When you grew up, they were good.
Because they won.
In the late 70s, when you were 10 and 11, they were really good.
What a fucking jerk.
They were like badasses.
Right.
So that year, the Raiders go 12-4 under Coach John Gruden.
Okay.
This is like when the Raiders were good. This was the year before they went to the Super Bowl and got blown out by the
Tampa Bay
Barrett Robbins. Again, this is Barrett Robbins is on
this team.
He's on this team.
Yeah,
so that's another one here. They go all the way to the playoffs. They win 27-0 versus the Dolphins in the opening round, and then they lose in the conference championship 16-3 to the Ravens, who end up going on to crush the Giants in the Super Bowl. And that defense was just ridiculous.
Insane.
You're not getting anything past them. No. That year, though, Andre, he's finally gets to wear number 80 again. Holy shit. Plays in all 16 games, doesn't start at all. He has 41 catches for 606 yards and 6 touchdowns. Yards per catch, 14.8. So that's not bad. Not great, though.
No.
He makes $500,000 for that. So going and at the end of the season,
$500,000 minus taxes, minus $158,000.
Minus restitution and agent fees and everything else.
He got like $12,000.
He got, he's like, fuck. And then he went out and bought jewelry with it. Now, the end of the season, he gets busted for, after the season's over, for violating the league's substance abuse policy. It's apparently a repeat violation because they don't suspend you until like the third offense.
Is
and
it
he's
weed?
He's suspended. We don't know what this is. He's suspended 4 games of the first 4 games of the 2001 season. He's going to be suspended for.
I'll bet it's steroids.
Possibly, yeah. That
At
doesn't.
this point in his career, it's got to be something that's helping him heal.
That would not surprise me. But it doesn't matter because no one signs him anyway.
Really?
So,
This is it.
He's fucking done.
Done.
Career totals: 186 games. He has 743 receptions, 10,205 yards, and 84 touchdowns.
Wow.
13.7 per reception. That's a really good career.
Yeah.
Really good career.
To be that's a really good career to be ended on a positive drug test.
On a positive drug test.
That's horrible.
And his career totals, money-wise, $19,172,000, $172,089.
And that's just from the NFL.
$20 million NFL. He also had an NFL record that still stands for the only guy to score a touchdown with 7 different teams.
Holy shit.
Never happened before. So that's pretty fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
He was everywhere. 2001, he appears on Lisa Left Eye's album, Supernova. She had a single, solo album. He appears on the track Rags to Riches with her.
Rags to Riches,
back to rags again. Rags to Riches, oh shit, my house is burnt down. I guess it's rags again.
Rags to Riches to rags. That's
No
awesome.
shit. So June 19th, 2001, Lisa Left Eye Lopez and Andre Rison are still together.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he is on WHTA FM radio, and Andre announces that he and Lisa will be wed on July 5th, 2001, in the hot houses of the city's Botanical Garden in Atlanta. He's doing it. He's very excited. He said, as for the honeymoon, he said that they are going to go on a, quote, hot tour and speak in schools across America.
What's with all this hot stuff?
Hot tour to speak in schools across
Hot
America.
rooms.
By the way, that date comes and goes, and they never get
They
married.
never got married.
We don't know what the fuck happened. He's just sitting around, standing there in a new fucking house, going, okay, well, I spent all that money on jewelry. I have no fucking furniture because it's all burned. What the fuck do I do with myself in my empty house? Just sitting there. And he's distraught until he hears a knock at the door, and he opens, and it's Dexter Manley, interior decorator from New York City. And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? Seriously, I hear you used to, like, it was tastefully decorated. Now you have no furniture, like nothing. I'm sitting on a beanbag.
There used to be shit everywhere.
You're a grown man. I have a beanbag chair. And how many sneakers? Oh, not as many as you used to have. Okay, never mind. But I have to tell you, I just have to tell you, sir, you're white trash. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is as white trash as it gets. You get money, you just spend it like willy-nilly. Like just on Pabst Blue Ribbon, like it doesn't matter, like a trailer trash
What about
person.
your future?
You are with a woman and you fight in public. You don't punch people in a grocery store. Have some class. What is wrong with you? Oh, my God. Then she burns your house to the ground. That's white trash. That's what it is. This is the definition of it right now. Poof. And then he's gone in a poof of glitter and purple boas. He's out of there. And Andre's super confused, and now he is really homophobic and paranoid because he's like, how did that motherfucker get in my house?
Yeah.
And it has to be explained to him that Dexter, we don't know what his preferences are. That's not important.
Right.
Dexter's a person, and that's what matters most. So,
Jesus Christ.
August 2001, there's a judge here that now he's starting to get in trouble for child support payments.
Yeah.
Here. August 2001, he's jailed for 6 days in this time period because he has $3,500 a month child support payments to Ray Koya Handley, that he's not paying. 2001, like I said, August, he does 6 days, and then he had an arrest warrant issued for him in December 2001 and also January 2002 for repeatedly being behind on his child support. April 25th, 2002, in Honduras, Lisa Left Eye Lopez is there driving a rented Mitsubishi Montero.
What year is this?
2002.
Oh, boy.
Apparently, she swerves to avoid a truck. It's not clear exactly what happened, but she went to the right to avoid an oncoming car, and the vehicle rolled several times and hit 2 trees, throwing her and 3 other people out of the windows and landing in a ditch. Lopez was dead of neck injuries and severe head trauma.
Was she driving?
Before she was the one driving, she was the only person killed in the crash. Everybody else survived except for her. She had a broken neck and head damage at 30 years old. Head trauma. Head damage. It's like, that's not right. Head trauma.
I mean, Andre's got the head damage.
He's got the head damage. At 30 years old.
That is so depressing.
A cameraman was in the front seat videotaping at the time, so the last seconds leading up to the swerve are recorded on video. Like, that's out there. It's disturbing, man. Her sister was also there, Raindrop Lopez. Was in the vehicle, and she survived the collision, so at least 2 siblings didn't have to die there. 2003, there's rumors that he might sign with Tampa because Gruden is his old coach, but nothing ever comes of it. May 2004, Michigan Attorney General Mike Cox, he also is interested in signing him. He's signing him to an arrest warrant, as a matter of fact. A different one, though. He's saying that he failed to pay $94,891 in child support payments to his ex-wife, Tanya, and he was a habitual offender. $94,891, so $95,000. June 18th, 2001, Flint District Judge Ramona Roberts cancels the warrant because there was a warrant out there for failing to pay child support. It was a violation of probation. June 28th, 2004, they issue another arrest warrant for him. He owes now $184,787 in 2 different states for overdue child support payments to 2 different women.
It doubled.
I would say here they're owed to both women. Right. The case involves the 16-year-old son and other 2 sons too. They're all about the same age because he was fucking everybody at the same time. Not about the same age. The one is a lot younger. The oldest one and the youngest one are like 10 years apart in age. He also he owes Raycoa Hanley $85,085 in child support and interest.
I think that's her middle name.
Fuck.
Because everybody does
fuck.
Fuck Hanley.
Damn it. He also owes her attorney about $7,600 in fees and interest.
Oh, shit.
The judge's order says, quote, the defendant shall be immediately incarcerated and held until he purges his contempt by paying all amounts due. So as of June 10th, he still owed his ex-wife $92,112. Jesus Christ, what the fuck, man? This is a goddamn mess.
He made $20 million and never paid child support.
Never.
What a fucking jerk.
He was making it snow, Jimmy.
Fucking turd.
His attorney says that his client is aware of his obligations but may dispute the amount. He said that Rison is trying to become a businessman. He said that Rison probably won't be able to make the payments until he establishes his business venture. He did not say what the business venture is, but he said he hasn't ruled out playing football also and has been talking with a couple teams. That's not a business venture.
No.
He said, quote, it's one thing to play NFL football, then be thrown into the business world. It's a new challenge for him. It's not as easy as running down a field and catching a pass. Well,
is that easy?
I don't think that's easy.
That's not easy, man.
Now, her attorney, Handley's attorney, says that Rison's hiding money and making it difficult to inventory his assets.
That's probably true.
He says, quote, we think he's moved the money out of his name and we think he'll pay us. We think he'll pay us if he's put in jail. That's what he's saying. So, which, you'll pay to get out of jail anytime. Now, this lawyer says that Raycoa is, quote, the nicest, sweetest lady who's been struggling and hasn't been able to rely on regular support from him. Now, his lawyer, Rison's lawyer, says that his financial problems prevent him from paying child support. He says, quote, money doesn't last forever. I don't care what you're doing. Well, it does if you don't piss it away on things. That's the thing.
If you don't just throw handfuls of it at strippers at night. Maybe you should have put that stuff in your kid's bank account.
Hey, there you go. Handfuls of it.
Yeah.
Throw it in the crib.
Handfuls into the fucking savings account.
And collect it and put it in a savings account. July 2004, he signs with the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League, as they'll take any of our old garbage, as we know.
$35,000.
We just tossed him over the border in a burlap sack, and they put him out on the field. He does that. This is after he's told to pay over $100,000 in child support, obviously. He's working in Canada. The lawyers say working in Canada shouldn't prevent him from fulfilling his child support obligations. They say this should be good. his ex's, Ray Koya's lawyer said, quote, everyone wants him to do well. Then everyone wants his money. They said, we all want him to succeed, and then we want to take whatever he's earned by succeeding that. He said he was pleased that Rison is working, and he doesn't want him to go to jail. The lawyer said, quote, better employed in another country than unemployed here. We don't want to ruin his career. Putting him in jail doesn't help in the long run. They're like, just fucking pay us. Just pay us.
I don't want to ruin his career either, but he has to have money to ruin it.
That's the thing. Like we like his money.
He made the money already. He should have been paying it.
It's fucking ridiculous. Now, this whole thing, there's going back and forth. His business manager tells the newspaper that the Georgia judge just wants Rison to be employed, which is not written anywhere in her order, but that's what they're saying anyway. He also says that Rison will resolve his problems by Saturday. That Saturday, he said, quote, the situation will be resolved. It's not a criminal matter. It's a civil matter in a small court in Georgia. But because it's Andre Rison, people just like to jump up and run with it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because you owe $100,000 in child support.
That's what it is. Your name's attached to it. It's nothing if some fucking mechanic owes $80 grand. Nobody knows who he is. That's not going to be on the news.
No,
Andre Rison owes $100,000.
We know who he is, and we know he has the money and had the money. That's the difference.
That's what it is. Is that you at least had it at one point?
Yeah, he calls the newspaper while he's with Toronto there, and instead of discussing any of this, he says others are handling the child support payment. That situation. That's not his concern, but it is his concern that he is, quote, the best receiver to ever play the game, is what he's now calling himself. He also says that he has a great relationship with his children. Meanwhile, Handley claims that he hasn't seen or even talked to his children in over 2.5 years at this point.
So he is so full of shit.
Great dad.
Grandma Rose instilled some shit in him.
Oh, yeah. Now, Greg Moans is Toronto's player personnel director. Their silver-haired, middle-aged white man. He said the team did a thorough background check before offering him a contract.
Yeah.
Well, clearly not that thorough.
Not
good. He said, quote, we did our due diligence and we're satisfied with the answers we got. Andre wants to prove he can still play and wants an opportunity to get back in the NFL. He wants to win the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year award. That's his motivation. So basically he said, we did a background check and we decided he probably won't kill anyone while he's here, and we need players that are faster than Canadians. Right. So we're hiring him.
We need somebody to have the comeback Player of the Year award.
So in Toronto, 2004, he has 6 games he plays in, 14 receptions, 174 yards, and 1 touchdown. He's injured, and the season's over for him.
That's it.
August 9th, 2004, a judge orders the arrest of Andre Rison for failing to pay $107,000 in child support. The judge said that he should be jailed for 20 days and asked other jurisdictions to assist in arresting him. His attorney didn't comment, which obviously, so now there's another goddamn arrest warrant out for him. December 9th, 2004, he's jailed again for failure to pay child support. He's jailed and he's sentenced to pay $127,000. And he's also sentenced to an additional 20 days in jail for violating a court order to pay $3,500 a month in child support for his 16 and 18-year-old sons. What a fucking mess. He ends up doing 30 days in jail for this.
He got 30 days.
He spends Christmas of 2004 in the pokey.
That's brutal.
So that's not great.
When you should have been giving your kids great Christmases this time, we're going to give you a bad one.
Bad one. January 2005, he's given the option of paying $10,000 to get out of jail. After spending a month in jail, he says absolutely he'll do that. He says he hasn't been able to pay the $3,500 a month child support since August of 2002, which is a long time. That's why he owes $107,000. The judge said he could leave jail if he made a $10,000 payment. He also stipulated, the judge said, that if he's receiving a signing bonus from his new team, half of that would go to Handley, which is fair, I guess. He also, her lawyer, Handley's lawyer, said attorneys were working on reducing the monthly payments to $1,000 a month from $3,500, but added that Rison has made no effort to pay anything at all. So who knows? The lawyer said, quote, it behooves him to borrow the money to pay it because we're not going away. Like, just give us our fucking money. Okay, so 2005, his son, Andre Jr., is being recruited by colleges to play wide receiver.
Really?
Andre Jr. His coach in high school says, quote, Andre Jr. is just an outstanding human being. He's always trying to make himself better, and his concentration and attention to detail are incredible. He does everything to perfection, and he's very level-headed. So He also says that, quote, Mr. Rison is very supportive of his son. He has even helped me out with my wide receivers and defensive backs. You can tell he's been around some of the brightest minds in the game. Andre is also very tight with his mother. She is his heart. So, yeah, because she's the one he knows.
Also tight with his money.
Yeah, that's the other thing. 2005 season, he tries again with Toronto. He's 38 years old, and he signs with the Toronto Argonauts again. The last year he came into camp, he was like 215 pounds, which is very heavy for him.
Yeah.
He came into camp 230 and played at 215. This year he comes into camp at 187.
There you go.
So that's better. He said, quote, this is the best shape I've been in my whole life outside of college. I know I'm better than a lot of people that are playing in the National Football League. Giving the opportunity, the state I'm in now, it would be lights out. But right now I'm happy where I'm at, the defending champs of the Canadian Football League. I'll continue to do it and to try to get better. So after all of that, he says he's learned the CFL spacing and adjustments. He can run his routes with tricks with him.
Yeah.
He feels comfortable. He knows the offense. It's going to be his year.
Yeah.
He plays in one game, has one catch for 4 yards,
Oh,
and that's it.
no.
He's done. They cut him.
One catch for 4 yards.
No touchdowns and been cut.
That's
done.
That's the play where they go hut, and then he runs out 2 yards, and then comes back to the line of scrimmage, catches the ball, and dives forward.
That's it.
That's the play.
That's the one. Yeah, the little side flare out. 2007, he is forced to declare bankruptcy because of overdue child support.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took that long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his creditors, his kids, his wife, his fucking Toronto Argonauts. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad as I feel for only his son, because that's the only Andre Rison I can find in the world is his son. That's it. And I found another guy who I don't know if it's him, but I think it's probably him on a profile. So I'm like, fuck, there's no other Andre Risons.
Andre Rison Jr.
So Andre Rison Jr., hats off to you for being
bastard.
saddled with that fucking name. Everybody else, fuck yourselves. So... December 30th, 2008, Rison Sr. is arrested for public drunkenness at a San Antonio hotel.
How can he afford booze?
Unfucking believable. He's detained after police responded to a call about a public disturbance at 2 a.m. At the Crown Plaza Riverwalk. You can't cut up at the Crown Plaza. They don't allow that
shit.
He pays a fine and was released the next morning. He goes on the next couple of years. He serves as an assistant football coach at Flint's Beecher High School, and he's the head coach at Northwestern, where he went to school for a couple of years. Not now, but then. Also, 2009, he starts making crazy quotes. He starts being even crazier.
Yeah.
Let's just get to the quote because it's easier. He says, quote, best receiver to ever play the game. I can't show my highlights because I don't own NFL films, but all my coaches in college and high school and junior college, they all told me I could be the best. But they must have lied because that title was already given to Jerry Rice. Just because you have stats doesn't mean you're the best. Can't nobody tell me that Andre Reed isn't better than Jerry Rice. I'm seeing cornerbacks on the 75th anniversary team that I used to demolish, but I'm coming out with my own Hall of Game. Hall of Game. Not Hall of Fame. They won't let him in the Hall of Fame. So I'm starting my own Hall of Fame, calling it the Hall of Game.
And it's just me.
Motherfuckers that could play but aren't respected enough, and it's me.
It's just me.
It's me. And anybody else I feel is cool after a while.
Because stats don't mean anything,
No,
James.
shit, nothing.
You see,
longevity,
you see
stats.
what you've done doesn't matter.
No, it's just what you say.
Is your name Andre Rison? You ain't the best.
It's what you say, not how you play, Jimmy. Come on. So, by the way,
motherfucker.
By the way, it's at this time in 2010 that Andre Previn, the composer, wins a Lifetime Achievement Grammy Award. So that's the type of lives they're converting. You didn't think I was not going to bring that back, did you? Come on, baby.
Complete polar opposite.
Going in different ways. Different to when they were born, they were going different directions, and they're sure as fuck going in different directions now.
This trajectory really went off the rails.
Wow. So... September 21st, 2011, Rison must appear in a federal district court in Phoenix because he has been indicted by the U.S. attorney for failure to pay child support in Arizona, where one of his exes lives now. The penalties are a prison term of up to 2 years and a big fine. It is a huge amount here that he owes again.
And that is under Joe Arpaio's rule?
No, this is federal.
Oh, federal
this is
shit.
Federal,
Okay.
federal court, federal level. He's such a fucking delinquent, the feds have taken it up.
Unbelievable.
Literally, the feds are interested
Ridiculous.
in it now. He said that it's fucking ridiculous.
Arpaio really pushed for deadbeat dad laws to be enforced here, though.
Well, he didn't push to arrest people who molested kids, though.
Didn't.
So.
No.
How about we'll work on that
kids.
first and rape victims, and then work on the deadbeat dads, maybe second, and like the pet shit, too.
And then we'll deal with that.
And then we'll deal with pet abuse, too, which was his big... Don't give a fuck if you fuck kids, but don't touch that fucking dog. And I know dog people, we all love dogs, and I like dogs better than people. People say, if you would rather a dog be okay than a kid be fucked, or actually the other way around, then you're a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
That's true.
Sorry.
That's
I will
honesty.
kill every dog in the world to not have kids get molested. Fucking tomorrow. And I love dogs, and so do you.
Yes.
So we're into that. Anyway, May 2012, he is returning to Michigan State University as a student assistant coach as he attempts to complete his degree. After he resigns at head coach of the high school.
He's now going to complete his degree?
Going to complete his degree and also be a little bit of a coach. That doesn't last long.
8 years late.
8 years late. July 2012, he's ordered by an Arizona federal judge to pay roughly $323,000 after he pleads guilty to 2 counts of failure to pay child support. The judge ordered that he make payments of at least $1,000 a month while on 5 years probation, which at that rate, he'll get it paid back when he's 245 years old.
$1,000 a month, that's 300 months.
Yeah.
How does that math break down? That's too old. That's too
fucking
much.
old.
Yeah,
his kids are going to be 60. His mother's going to be getting child support payments for them while his kids are retired.
The kids are going to
AARP.
Yeah, kids are going to be getting Social Security and dad's child support.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
By August of 2013, the next year, August 9th, he is named as one of the country's most wanted deadbeats by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Awesome.
Wow. U.S. Assistant Attorney General Jennifer Levinson wrote a memorandum to a district judge that is amazing. This is awesome. There's so many. Since the defendant was placed on probation on July 9, 2012, there has not been a single month in which he has fully complied with the terms. In fact, he began violating the terms of his probation within the first week. Within the first week. They said that basically letting him get away with it, there's no deterrence to anybody else. He says he's living in Arizona giving private coaching lessons. He's doing his best. The feds here, this is great, in Flint, Michigan. This is a prosecutor's sentencing memo from Flint, Michigan. This is awesome. The defendant made millions of dollars as a former pro football player. He also has a long history of failing to meet his obligations. He has failed to pay child support, not only for his son, who's the subject of the instant case, but for 3 of his other children. A search of a public database shows a long history of tax liens and civil judgments, followed by a bankruptcy. The defendant has demonstrated an utter lack of respect for court orders in the past and has been arrested for failure to pay child support and contempt of court. He has 3 misdemeanor convictions and 1 felony conviction for passing back bad checks. In sum, the defendant has demonstrated an inability to manage money and follow through with his obligations. So much so that his actions have become criminal. Rison appears to be an immature, selfish man who's in desperate need of supervision and real consequences. That's like a bad report from a substitute teacher. Your teacher guy went, you guys are in fucking trouble. Wow. What a mess.
He's spending his lunch money on the vending machine, this motherfucker.
Totally, man. September 5th, 2003, he violates his probation again by failing to pay on that $332,000 again. At the last minute, though, it's said that he makes a, quote, last-ditch effort and starts making payments in order to avoid incarceration. But they said that the prosecutor said that shouldn't stop him from being sent to prison. They said that there should be a serious consequence.
One of the nation's most wanted deadbeats.
Most wanted deadbeats.
Andre Deadbeat Rison.
And especially, too, they extended it so all he had to pay was $1,000 a month to the other lady, and then it's fucking ridiculous, man.
Can you imagine going from that, though? This is fucking incredible.
Well, in a separate case, he's also got that $1,000, then he's got $2,358.86 a month in Jackson, Missouri that he's got to pay.
God.
So altogether, it's about $3,500 a month. Still, he says he's been having trouble finding work giving private coaching lessons.
Yeah, because private coaching lessons aren't a thing.
They are a little bit, but not enough to make that your thing.
To make it $3,500 a month in just child support, then you got to have a life. Then you got to pay your own rent.
Then everything else.
You should have managed your $20 million a little better, bud.
A little bit. Yeah. I should have saved more money. I should have saved more money. So
he said it twice.
I should have saved more money. The first time he said it looking at the person. The second time he said it looking off into the distance on his own. Should have saved more money. That shit was just for me, the second one.
Second time he looks right in the camera.
Yeah. I should have saved more money. So 2015, the Lansing State Journal has him ranked as the number 5 Michigan State Spartan football player of all time.
Yeah.
So number 5 all-time Michigan State player he is.
Do the other 4 pay their child support?
I believe they did, as a matter of fact, which is good for them. April 8th, 2016, the U.S. Attorney's Office files motions in Flint U.S. District Court seeking to garnish Rison's NFL retirement and his earnings as an assistant coach at Ann Arbor Skyline High School, which is what, $8,000 a year. Federal prosecutors are trying to collect that $300,000 still. The garnishment request was also made for money to be owed that he owes the State Department of Treasury also. Court records show that he's paid roughly $12,000 of the ordered support as of April 6th.
What a dick.
$300,000.
$12,000.
$12,000.
What an asshole.
Wow. August 11th, 2016, he says he'll turn himself in that Michigan case. He says it's fine. He says basically the warrant for him, he blew his probation by testing positive for marijuana and failing to keep up with his support payments. He says he uses marijuana candy, he uses edibles to deal with his fucking injuries, which, probably. It's either that or oxycodone, so let him have the fucking weed candy, you assholes. He says, quote, I hurt every day. I'm just tired. Here I am being looked at like a hardcore criminal. I'm trying to do the right thing. My mistake was made years ago. I'm still under the microscope. It's very frustrating. Well, those people still haven't been paid yet. That's why.
Right.
One thing he did say in that Broke documentary that I kind of understood a little bit is he's like, people saying I shouldn't be spending this money and I shouldn't have been spending that money, but they're not the ones that go out there with the fucked up knee and the bum shoulder and my neck that I can't move to the right because I heard it that week because somebody popped me. He goes, when I'm going through all that shit, I'm going to buy what the fuck I want to buy and no one's going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
But it's like you still need to have money later on. But I get his mentality at the time.
I understand that, but
that's still not thinking ahead.
The thing is, pay your bills, and then outside of that, then use that money to make yourself feel better. That's what it is. You don't fucking have children and then pawn that financial burden on somebody fucking else. You take care of your responsibilities and then go have fun.
Then have fun.
It's fine. I love to drink. If I don't have time to do it because I have shit to do,
shit happens.
Guess who doesn't drink?
That's the thing. Well, he found time for the strip club.
He sure in the fuck did.
He said now medical marijuana is legal in Michigan, but it's illegal under the terms of his probation. Is that he can't do that. He says, Rison says he'll go to a doctor and discuss new pain management possibilities, which are going to be pills they're going to give him. So
don't do that.
Let's give him opioids instead. He says, quote, self-medication is wrong, but I'm not a pill popper. He's like, I don't like pills. I like weed. Which I get it. So do I. I don't like fucking pills either. I get it.
I hate pills.
They're the worst.
They really are. They make my face itch.
They're horrible.
They're
fucking
so
horrible.
Bad.
So now he's going to court in 2013. He has to pay at least $1,000 a month, like we said.
Big Pharma hates you and me.
Oh, they fucking hate us. Yeah, they would have to hate us. We're very much against them. He made $9,000 a year as an assistant coach and collects $3,300 a month in disability from the NFL.
Okay.
So not a lot of money there, and they want all that cash. He says, quote, give me something that's feasible. If any time I've missed, it's because we had to pay bills. Unfortunately, I missed a couple times, and this is the ramification for it. You missed for years at a time, like 100 months.
Couple times.
A lot. Wow.
What an under-fucking exaggeration.
Jesus. So August 30th, 2016, he avoids federal prison by pleading guilty to violating his probation in the child support case. If he violates again, the prosecutors said they will request prison time, but here they're not giving him prison time. They're just, keeping him on probation. He says, quote, I apologize. I've been delinquent, is what he says in court. The U.S. attorney there said that Rison was on thinner ice, and he would request time from behind bars if he violates again. Even thinner ice. Yes, he is required now. U.S. Attorney's Office asked Parker, which is his lawyer, to sign an order the judge that would sign an order that would allow the government to garnish $922 a month from his NFL pension, with which the judge agreed to. Rison is required to pay $78 a month to fulfill his monthly obligations.
What?
I don't know what that is.
What a joke.
That's what they told him. You have to pay $78 a month. I guess
is that how much money he's making?
I think that's based on his $9,000 amount. I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. How fast does every mechanic, cement driver, trucker, fucking just blue-collar, low-level guy that is behind in his child support, how fast does he pony up the fucking money if this fuckface gets thrown in the clink and this shit's on the 5 o'clock news?
Yeah.
They're getting that motherfucker. I better pay my shit.
Well, yeah, but then the lady who wants the money is like, well, if you put him in jail, he can't make money to pay me my fucking money.
That's a good point.
So that's the thing they were going on. We want him to go to jail to scare him, but then we want him to get out, be so scared that he goes and gets all the money.
Right, but you're not being paid now, so what's the fucking difference?
So Rison's attorney said, quote, there won't be a problem again, of course.
Yeah.
So,
good now.
yeah, I'm good. He's good now, and quite frankly, so am I.
Yeah.
October 21st, 2016, his son, Hunter Rison, he's accepting a full-ride athletic scholarship to Michigan State University. Back where his dad went.
Dad's alma mater.
Dad's alma mater. He says, quote, this is because he just was moving to Michigan for this. He was living in Arizona, grew up in Chandler.
Oh, is that right?
He went to high school in Chandler. He said, quote, back in Arizona, I was beginning to go down the wrong path. It was just stupid stuff like being out past curfew, getting in trouble with school, and not doing my chores at home, and a lot of meth.
Yeah.
There came a point in time where I needed to make a change. He said, quote, about his dad. He said his dad's all up his ass. Fucking trying to be on top of him. He said, quote, his foot is all the way down. There's no playing around. It's now instilled in me. He taught me how to be responsible and how to be a man overall. Sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do, and that's the greatest lesson that takes you all kinds of places.
You mean
like pay child support, you dumb fuck.
I'll bet he stood out like a sore thumb in Chandler, the only fucking black kid there.
He's a total do as I say, not as I do, I would say, is his biggest thing here. He says that his son says, quote, he's a good father, and it killed him the most when people think he's not. I know he's a good guy, and the world can be unfair sometimes. Bad things happen to good people, but sometimes you have to take and keep moving because life keeps going. Okay.
Well, listen, I didn't live the life, and I'm sure that he's got a different perspective than I do. But your dad's a piece of shit. I'll be honest with you, bud.
He's kind of a douche.
He kind of sucks.
January 8th, 2018, his son is now transferring. He is switching schools.
He's out of there, huh?
Going to Kansas State. Andre says, quote, he appreciates everything, the opportunity to come to school and to go to a great university in Michigan State, but he wants to play more. They weren't giving him enough playing time. May 7th, 2018, Andre is speaking to rookies at the Rookie Symposium.
Fucking perfect
Teaching them not to piss their money away.
He's
talking about, saying he blew $20 million. He says it's a drastic change for you guys to become rich overnight. And he says that focusing on your closest family and friends is important, but it should end there. He said, quote, remain loyal to the people that have helped you get to that point, no doubt, but you don't owe anything to anybody really. Which is really the thing. Don't give your friends a bunch of shit. He says that rookies got to handle their business on and off the field, which means getting in touch with the right representation and people that know how to handle that much money. Fuck yes.
Finally.
Someone gives you millions of dollars. You don't know what to do with it.
Stay away from it.
June 27th.
Stay away from being you're not a money market manager.
No, you're not. And you don't know shit.
You play football.
No.
You're a dopey-ass lineman.
Yeah. Oh, shit. June 27, 2018, he tweets a picture of himself at Summerfest in Wisconsin, which is like a big Wisconsin summer festival.
How'd you buy that ticket, sir?
And he is wearing his number 84 Packers jersey, and a bunch of people are hanging out with him. So it's like he's got a thing like always a Packer type shit. He played 5 games there.
Right.
So also,
but it's the only place he got a ring.
Yes, that's the truth. His current net worth on this site is listed at $50,000. But that seems high, and it's never reliable because this same exact site says I have $22 million. Which,
it says you have 22 now?
Oh, it doubled. I didn't tell you that. I meant to tweet that out. First, it said I had $11 million a while back. Now they say I have $22 million somehow. I have made
by comparison,
nothing extra. We're in a terrible deal. Like we make nowhere near 22. Like that's
the amount of money that you do have compared to 22. It says he has 50.
Hilarious.
That man has 2 nickels.
I was gonna say that man probably has 50 cents. Yeah. I think that's they just put it. I have if I had $220, they said I had 22 million. I think that's where this is. 50,000, no, 50 cents is what it is. It's the same fucking thing.
That is Aussie. It's 50,000. It's in pesos. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's in shoes. It's in unburnt sneakers. Can't get enough of Andre Rison?
I sure the fuck can't. He's amazing.
You can get a 500 level Andre Rison shirt. It's like a vintage, Andre Rison on the Falcons. Yeah, like painted. No, it's like a T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
It's like an old T-shirt looking thing. Not a it's a new vintage whatever.
Got it.
It's painted on there. $19.99 for that. The color is heather gray.
Oh,
so that's the color there. 2017 National Treasures Andre Rison card. It's a card of an old player with his signature on it. I don't know if it's a real signature. $19.99 plus $4 shipping or best offer.
Great.
You never know. Also, sportsmemorabilia.com, an autographed Andre Rison's Falcons jersey, which is pretty cool. $152.99, free shipping.
That's a good deal.
So rather than buy that, send it to his children. Yeah. Because that's where it would go anyway.
I want a vial of the ashes of his house.
Yes.
That's what I want.
And his website, AndreRison.com, doesn't come up anymore, so I don't know if that's down or what, if he took that down or whatever it is. But everybody, that's Andre Rison.
Wow.
What a fucking disaster.
Unbelievable.
It's a mess and a half, and another famous crazy down the tubes there.
Completely disturbing how fast it goes away when you have kids and don't pay it.
$20 million, you're pissing money away. You're that's just the ultimate cautionary tale.
Yeah.
That guy. That's the ultimate crime in sports stupid right there. Made the money, pissed it away.
That might be worse than Ryan Leaf, because Ryan Leaf didn't even pan out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he made it for years.
Yeah,
Ryan Leaf blew his initial money and thought maybe he'd be making money for years and then wasn't making it.
Right.
This guy made it for years and just kept pissing it away like that was going to be forever. But if you enjoyed that, please get on iTunes, give us 5 stars, tell us you're following instructions or following directions. It doesn't matter. If that's not enough for you and you want to be one of the greatest people in the world, like these fine list of amazing producers that we're about to talk about, you can do that by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports and making a donation, or going over to PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, to do that. Also, go to our website, shutupandgivememurder.com, where you can get you can donate through there. Actually, there's the links to all that.
Sure.
Also, links to our merchandise there. All sorts of stuff, T-shirts, mugs, things, bath mats, shower curtains, you name it, we got it. All the slogans, all the sayings. Do that. It's a lot of goddamn fun, and we're excited about it, but not nearly as excited as we are to hear this list of producers, because I love them. Jimmie, hit us with that list.
This week's executive producers are Adam Thorpe, Chrissy-Ann Castaldi, and Lonnie Hall. Thank you all so much.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you, Chrissy-Ann Castaldi, for always coming through for us. Thank you so much, really.
Did I say year? I said year.
It's week. You're the best, Chrissy. Thank you.
And she's recovering from some surgery.
I know. Sorry. Hope you feel better, Chrissy.
Katrina Bell, Aaron Allen, Stephanie Clark, Rob Madursky, who brought his daughter. Remember them? They're fantastic people.
That was so cool. Nice to meet you, dude.
Jesse Hartman. Fucking no.
Got a good one?
Rurid Gald.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Rurita?
No. That sounds like a place where a biblical battle was fought.
Ruridard.
In Ruridard, yes. There was a biblical battle where.
Nope. Christy Busby, William McClellan, Bill he's in Scotland.
Yes.
And he sent us $0, and that's what showed up.
That was awesome. I think he sent us a penny the one day.
I don't know.
I was like, all right, thanks, dude.
That's an interesting way of sending a donation. $0.
Hey, whatever. You were thinking about us, and that's what's important to us.
I appreciate it, Bill.
Thanks for the thought, brother.
Sarah Beth Yolkins. Yolkins.
Yeah. What I said the first time.
Ashley Vieaux LMNOP. It's VO. That's all that is.
VO?
It's just Ashley
That's
VO.
so much easier than we made it out to be.
You should just fucking change it.
We want to pronounce it right.
Right. Katie Heisel, Nikki Kisselef.
Hey.
Katie Heisel's the one that makes the maps over on Twitter.
Best.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, we love Katie. Thanks, Katie.
Nikki Kisselef. I think that's right. Margie Kunze. She's fantastic.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Margie. She's been with us for so long. Supporting us.
Robert
She's the best.
Robert Burns has been too. Kyle Biggs. Sarah Toasty. Toasty.
I like Toasty.
I don't know.
That sounds
damn it.
both delicious and warm.
I'm fucking dumb. Dan Chapman, Sarah Reichert, Joseph McGlynn, Nikki Cofield, Jerome Cernuski, CZ, Fucking damn it.
Sir
Whiskey.
Sir Whiskey's here. Everybody.
Thanks, Jerome. Chastity Irwin, Sean Hartley, Craig Riley, Kimberly Thomas, Laura Blakesley. Thank you, Laura. Jacqueline Howard, Emmy Dumont. Stephen Mace wanted to wish a happy birthday to Stephen Sr., who was his father, obviously.
Happy birthday, Steve Sr.
And Dave. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yes,
happy birthday. Fucking, you're welcome, Stephen. Allison Hilliard, Adriana Maggs, Shannon Stoika, Sarah Hogan, Craig McGeechan, Guy Rilu. Guy, your last name is
Come on,
fucked
Guy.
Up, Guy.
Get together.
Steve Schnell in Philly. Thank you, Steve. You're
Thanks,
a hell of a
Steve.
dude.
We always love you, brother.
Under the Sea Fabrics, Chloe Baldock, Larissa Pavlov, like the dog, or like his dog.
The man who had the dog.
Who owned the dog.
Yes.
Larissa Pavlov.
There you go.
Derek Hillenberg, Sam Lund, Heather Every, Brett Scott. Brett Scott is the coolest name. I hope
that is pretty cool.
It's like
sounds like tough.
It sounds like
cool.
what the doc would yell at Marty. Great Scott. I hope people just would go, Brett Scott.
Brett Scott sounds like a handsome dude.
Yeah, he does.
How you doing? Brett Scott here.
I hope he looks terrible.
Yeah, I hope he's an awful looking man. Hope you're in
very
terrible
unfortunate.
shape. Terrible shape, Brett. We hope you are.
Jake LeBeer, sticking around. Thank you.
Thanks,
Tyler
man.
Hawk. Yes, Hawk. Adelaide Copeland, Amanda Windsor, Terry Burgess, Jess Landgren, and she sent you a birthday gift.
Yes, thank you so much, Jess Landgren. We appreciate it. That was
all the
so
way from
cool.
Australia.
Yeah, I ate all that chocolate very quickly, and I loved it, and I like the rugby hat. It's cool shit. Thank you so much, Jessica, for thinking about me. I appreciate
Rochelle
it.
Ann, Zach Defecate? No. Fuck, did I say that?
You did say that out loud. That's what came out. It wasn't your fault.
It's Dave Ficciani.
Hey, that is way different than defecate.
I write like an asshole is what I do. Emma Cossin, yes. Ashley Lavati, Juliana Chaudry, Ingrid Stokes. She sent money from North Korea.
North Korea bucks. Yeah.
And then she made a joke on PayPal about the North Korea bucks, and they held the funds and wouldn't let her send.
Oh my God, Jesus!
Isn't that awesome? Katie Turner, Chance Cole, Nicole Adams, Brittany McDonald, Kensworth Slater, Brandy Dunkel, Bryant Toole, Timothy Smith, Ronna Abshire, Michael Army. That's easy. Laura Kopp. Thank you, Laura. Eric Langenecker. Yes. Alicia Ybarra, graphicstrategist.com. I'm not sure what that is. Hunker Downcast? I don't know what that is.
It sounds like a podcast.
Might be.
Maybe.
Greg Dangerfield, Laura Culpepper, Kate Myers, and Tyler Hales. Thank you guys so much for everything you do for us.
Honestly.
It's fucking unbelievably appreciated and understated, I guess. I don't know.
Under something.
It
can't be stated enough, so it has to be, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks, so much. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Honestly, we can't do it without you guys, and especially on this show.
Yeah.
This show, if you guys didn't exist the way you guys do, I guarantee you this wouldn't be a show anymore. Right. I fucking guarantee
If you didn't exist, this wouldn't exist.
Yes, exactly. So thank you so much. We really appreciate the hell out of it. And what if one of these fine people wanted to tell you whether you existed or not? Jimmie, how would they do that?
Find me. I exist at Whisman Sucks. WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And thank you guys so much for being around. This has been a hell of a week. It's been a lot of fun, and you guys are fucking terrific. What about you?
I am at Jimmie P is funny. You can find me over there, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description. Don't be a hero because you won't know how to spell it. Thank you guys so much. And by the way, a couple weeks ago, thank you for all your birthday wishes and shit. That was really, really awesome. I really appreciate it. You guys made me feel loved, and thank you so much for that. But all that shit out of the way, Jimmie, I guess there's only one more thing to say. By the way, this is our last recording in the this studio.
We made our own.
We made our own.
Because of you guys.
Because of you guys. Thank you to Hubbard Media and KUPD and KSLX and the people who let us use their radio station for this. You let us go to the next level of sounding really well. So much so that we bought like the same equipment for our own house. And so next week, we'll be back with Crime and Sports. You won't know the difference. It'll sound exactly the same, but we'll be in a studio that you guys built for us. So live from the Crime and Sports studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus